had it all set up so you could see the board. I had it all set up. So look, that's the way we're going to do it right there. The only way I can do it. I can't plug it in my phone and charge. Let's see, will it go the other way? No, it says I'm really upside down. Okay, so I can't charge my phone. So if it dies, it dies. Not much I can do about it. And this was no good because it won't let me get past. You should be able to get right out of this, go right back to your home page. It's not even allowing me to do that either. Isn't that just dandy when that stuff happens? When everything, it's not you. I just got to get you to understand it's not you. It is the way our brains are receiving. This is probably a great example. Right now it's 11:11. This great example of what's really going on. Yesterday, all the rules seemed to work. Got it all set up, did just fine. And today, the rules have changed. Hi there, Crystal. To the point, I can't even see where my live is. This isn't working. I should be able to see my own page. I see all my videos. I see where I'm in my live section. But it's not allowing me to visit. So at least I know it must be projecting because, oh, there's Judy. And there's Crystal. Okay, wonderful. I'm just not allowed to. Okay. And this tablet is new. So there's, it's all how everything is supposed to be synced up from this computer to this phone to that laptop, from this tablet. And this is showing information that I may have watched 3 years ago, which does not make any sense whatsoever. And then, so the energies on the planet, and I'm going to explain it to you. This is why it's super duper important that we talk about this today, because some of you may start feeling like there's a lot of turbulence, a lot of challenges, a lot of shit on the outside that seems to be against you. And a lot of people are turning away from God or hate God in some degree because God, why are you allowing? And there's so much more to the story, because when you start to wake up from the man-made reality, the ego reality, see, now I can finally get into, I couldn't even get into my Facebook to see response and people that were helping. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. I just couldn't get there. Okay, so what are you supposed to get? You go, I'm 1, 2, 3, 4. Too many? No, it's this energy on the planet. And because I have to go through StreamYard and through my normal thing, I'm not sure if I can even do the board. But there's a Zoom issue with Facebook issue. Don't know whose issue it is, but I can see my groups, but I'm not allowed to see my pages. And I'm like, are you serious? This is what's going on? And there's just a lot of challenges at this point that says, yeah, this is crazy. This is supposed to be an upset. This is, how are you supposed to respond? Are you supposed to be this human? And so the clues this morning were, just imagine you're listening to spirit, okay? And you're love, and you're all this complete love. And you go up to, let's say, God, your daddy, and say, what's love? And so he explains it, or or she explains it. However, let's not get into that. But then all of a sudden it is, okay, yeah. But you have no clue. You don't have the experience. You don't have nothing. And then all of a sudden, it's like, God goes, hold on. Would you like to go to a place so you can experience what love is? And so he explains it. And they're like, yeah, let's do that. And so we pick a planet, we pick a solar system, we pick whatever, we create all that, right? So then we beam ourselves here. And when we get here, what is the main thing that happens? The moment you beam here, you forget. And the moment you The moment that you get here, you put on this mental suit, this emotional suit, and this physical suit. So you are being beamed in to your body. Now, how you know? Oh, damn it! How did that switch again? Okay, it won't let me. Let's see if I can do that. There we go. Now shut that off. You are beamed into this form. But where do you get beamed into? Now, this is where everybody's like, oh, because the seat of the soul, this and this and this and this. But there is a part into your brain. And gravitational pull allows it to be certain levels of consciousness based on how there goes my voice, how um, what you've learned from your soul's travels. I said soul's travels, of how many times that you have dreamed with your soul, and what wisdom, what lessons, what tribulations, what resolving what you've been at. So it is, where are you going? What are you doing? Now, people walk around just as the human being and forget that they have a spiritual part, and they'll go visit it because God's off the planet. And this is where all of a sudden you have to sit there and you feel like you have no control of your life, which is not true. You have a lot of control of your life if you can begin to understand the things that are happening. When you don't quite understand what is happening, it can get very confusing, to say the least, about, sorry about my arm there. Oh, there goes my light. Why? Why is it confusing? It's confusing because these are the things you don't know. These are the things you should know. You are a human being. I'm going to try to lower this a little bit. Oh, shit. Oh, crap. Okay, hang on, YouTube. You're going to be going through an experience. Oh, road you are. Okay, that's not heavy enough. I got that. So that means we resolve as we go. That's up close and personal, isn't it? It's just a pretty little makeup, isn't it? Yeah. Try it again. There. It's resolved. So you get here. You are a signal. You are consciousness. Number one, your consciousness. Number two, you are a wave and a particle, and you are streamlining yourself into this body. Now, this body has a receiver inside this part of the brain. And my phone, okay. And you have to be charged. You have to connect to Mother Earth instead of float around. And you have to allow yourself to take these adventures, and these adventures can wear you down. Okay, I think everything's plugging in and charging now. So the reality you see, you start to, as a baby, you start to use your sensory system to download that sense, like the proprioception. Where is my body in space and time? Where's the internal perception? Oh, how do I know how I feel? Now, nobody talks about those, but they're real, and they can get wonky. And as your body, you learn to live in your body, you learn to look and watch and see what's going on, to the point of deciding, oh, what? So you're the observer, huh? Now, when it's less than love, you are experiencing what you came here to do, to find out what love's not. And all of the degrees of what emotions and thoughts create. We forget this. We put all the power into the outside environment. We put all of that onto God, and but wake up to the idea. Now, how you do this is you're going to have to take and start learning with experiences to understand. And when you can shift your brain, the chemical of how your brain is, okay, oh, wonderful, then guess what? Okay, So when this part of your brain, the frontal lobe, creates reality, you can decide if you want to learn how to live there, or do you want to learn how to live in your survival brain? Okay. Am I safe? Am I safe? Am I safe? Am I safe? Now, a lot of people have learned to have all of these programs inside their physical form as AKA subconscious mind and the soul's recorder. And then a lot of times we will get stuck in the emotion and not understand in this part of the brain, in the emotional brain, am I loved? Am I loved? Am I loved? So we have this hierarchy of needs. Okay. But why am I here? Spirit has told me I'm here because I'm using it on myself. Mine is not the story of a hero's journey. My story is of a healer's journey. I no longer want to be the reluctant healer. And I'm not talking about just physical form. I'm talking about how reality is created. I know that as my spirit begins to experience with the mental and emotions and gravitate to values and beliefs and other people's way of creating reality, and those are the level of consciousness, I want to be more in charge. So what do I do? What I found out is that when you start to heal, you can get into this, the emotion, the frontal lobe, where you create reality, where happiness can be, where your personalities live, where you get to look through your brain and choose. Now, when people look through that part of the brain, what happens? They don't know what mindset they're in. They don't even know what they are. They don't know if they're spirit or if they're ego. They don't even know how to create that unity. They don't know how to create that integration. So the people that run around that are really into that, when people hear ego, oh, they're just being this type of person. No. When you are overly emotional and when you're overly mental and you're overly into the lower vibrations of shame and guilt and anger, these are to be experienced, but they aren't meant to own you. Now, there's hidden wisdom in each of those emotions that get tied to a memory. I found a way, and it has been on the planet with many, many, many other people, but nobody is really linked it up to communicate, to create this bridge to show people how to get home, how to communicate, how to take that next level of integration instead of just being these parts, these labels. But it's the epiphanies, it's the insights, it's the awareness. And the more you feed your brain, the more you give it information, then it can do its next best guess with more knowledge. Now, I'm going to tell you, if you guys want a free reading, if you haven't had a reading from me before, you'll get it after Spirit Speaks. This is such an important part of Medicine Woman Solution Show. This is the show. And then the readings and the healings and that happen afterwards. But this information is what all of a sudden your brain goes, wait, what? Now there is a part of your receiver in here as the energy comes in. Okay, so you come in. So just imagine that this body's a television set. Okay? And when it's asleep, it's not working. It's not plugged in. All right? But when you come and beam yourself into this body and you wake up, your consciousness becomes conscious. But which lens is it looking through? Is it looking through the ego lens or is it looking through the spirit lens? And this will be determined because a lot of people will kind of like, religion's religion. This isn't religion. You're beaming yourself into your cells. Each cell has your code, your personal code. So nobody else can do this. So it's your personal code. And you beam yourself into this body every day. And you are the one that turns up the light or turns down the light in every cell, whether you're going to have disease or no disease, based on how you reacted with your to life, whether it is through the part that's asleep or the part that's awake. Okay? So when you are allowing yourself to take a big shift into reality, this information can help you greatly. So, in the energy, you, as a spirit being of consciousness, in this blanket of everything is consciousness, and then all of a sudden you start doing these streams, and you stream yourself into a story, into a this reality, into this. And so, inside the brain, there's a gravitational pull. Oh, that's adorable. Um, and thank you. And there's this gravitational pull that begins to occur. Okay. Now, as you, this planet, the whole 100 monkey theory, okay, on this planet, it still looks like and sounds like a lot of war in 3D. Now, all I can tell you is every time you start to go in and create a new world for yourself, heal, because your inner world creates your outer world, and as you learn the tools of how to take care of that inner world, you're going to be able to create something different on the outer world. Okay, you listening? Because your inner world does all these internal representations of what it sees, and then it projects out. All the value systems, you just imagine this big filing cabinet. It has all of your definitions of your words, all of your experiences that you've had, but it's not about you, it's also about how you watched, mimicked, copied each and every one of you. You sat there and go, oh, oh, oh. Now, you and a bunch of other people could be in the same room, but each one of you have a different perspective because you got a different set of rules, a different set of things. And so I may hear something where another person may see something, and so our stories are not quite the same. Oh, it is definitely metaphysical. It says metaphysics. If you're ready to wake up from out there and use healing tools to help you transform, that's what we're doing. It's time. So your internal world. Oh, isn't that sweet? We have a jokester. We can present people, if we have doubt. We can present people to want attention or their voice is important. But is their voice important? I don't know. In their world, yes. I hope to God so. I hope they can. When you allow yourself to react to the thing that's tapping on you, to look at it, if it's meant to hurt you, to piss you off, to make you laugh, to grab attention, what do you do to give to it? You can't blame it on them because your file system, the way you interpreted the world, and then you have create your behavior in the world. Your energies is that your inner world will start putting out energy and start pulling it in. Your beliefs, your thoughts, your words, your flippancy, your whatever knowledge you're at. So the level of consciousness is like a gravitational pull, okay? And so just like gravity on Earth. And what happens is if the chakras, the AKA levels of chakras, which is your level of consciousness, if you haven't worked through your issues and you haven't resolved your issues and you haven't grabbed that wisdom out of that emotion from those issues, you're going to keep repeating it in a very loud way. So a bitch slap is what's going to change your reality. But you can do this on a whisper. So as the energy of spirit begins to be you, okay, so your consciousness, and you start to form into a human, and you're coming in and you're deciding to put on your mental suit, your emotional suit, and your physical suit, and you're going to do this every time until you're done, which is called death. But when you do, you're going to be receiving yourself here. Your cells in your body receive you because it has the code of you. And you don't believe me? Go get an organ transplant. You're going to have to suppress your immune system. You're going to have to find something that matches. And when they suppress your immune system, there's a code that you're going to have to learn to accept. Now, if it is similar to what you already are, then you're probably going to be able to accept that organ so much better. Okay. And that's why, okay, let's back this up. Let's see. Okay. I was just looking at some energies that were pulling me because that is what we're going to talk about. Did that energy of that person pull me? they were supposed to be an example of what I wanted to talk about was when your body is being pulled by the programs that's projected out, and I forgot what that's called. Maybe one of my peoples can tell me and help me remember what I call it. I really don't know where to put this. Well, that ain't gonna work. Your what do I call it? Not internal locus of control. It is called something. I can't remember what it's called now. You think I remember it? Anyways, all of these energies helps create your behavior. The internal representation creates your behavior, but it is also the thoughts and the emotions about how you focus and direct. So when the energy goes out, you attract it in. So I attracted this person to come in and say, "Is this metaphysics?" I said, "Yes." And they go, "Are you medication?" The comment, did I have to perceive it as anything other than a comment? Did I have to, nope, not paradigm, I can't remember the word I want. Attraction factor, that's what I call it. It's the attraction factor. It's the electromagnetic pull. And thank you for playing though. When that energy, I was looking in my mind, I'm like, oh, what was this? And then they appeared. I made them appear. I made that troll appear. I made that person appear. But if I have programs that are unresolved, that means I'm going to have to learn my lessons again. I'm going to have to repeat things again. Well, do I want to? That becomes the question. Do I want to? Now, if I'm in charge of my frontal lobe, it means I can be in my 5%. I can use my awareness. I can, do I have to feel like that I have to give my power away? Do I have to? So when you heal those knee-jerk reactions, the way that auto response, the program that, yeah, it's a program. So wake up with your 5%, and you begin to heal. You begin to put the blood back in your brain. Put the blood back, so the visceral nerve will actually circulate by putting the blood into the organs properly instead of just into your limbs when you are in anxiety or stress in any form. So what does this mean? Was she here by accident? No, but by a not. I don't want to say spiritual design because people want to blame. I want you to become your 5% and realize, oh, I needed this person in my space for a very particular reason. Okay? And in this moment, it was to demonstrate. Do I want to react? Well, I wasn't. And then Spirit goes, no, that I sent that. Spirit, I sent. Okay? My inner world, my outer world projected out. Now, here's the thing. Did you hear that? Projected out. So the brain receives, and the brain only sees a mirror. Okay, so you're coming in. You get to work with all of the sensory systems, including internal perception, proprioception, and then all of your others. But that's 6. Everybody laughs in the old day when you said, oh yeah, we have 6 senses, ESP, external sensory perception, and there's nothing wrong with it, but everybody thought, ooh, it's scary. Nobody knew much about it. And anybody that talked about it, you're supposed to listen to how the church says that's bad, or your culture says that's wrong, and then you go to another part of the world and I go like, no, that's what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to do it the way you're doing it. So you always have all these mirrors, the yin and yang mirrors, constantly, always are happening. But how do you interpret it? And so as I'm beaming myself in, the first 7 years I'm going to be picking up like a sponge and reacting. And how do you react? So when my kids would fall, I would never overreact. I'd say, well, how'd you do that? What? My daughter would bang into a wall, and I'm like, where'd that wall come from? Did you not see that wall? What? And, so I'd make jokes, and all of a sudden she's like, So she never really had to believe that she had to scream and holler, that she was going to die, that she wasn't safe. And she didn't have to go and look, do you love me? I got hurt. No, she didn't have to do that. And I thought it was by accident, that I But then I would watch other people, a child will respond to how you are. Example, the child is always worried or something in some form when they have that empathy part of themselves so activated, that level part of their brain of consciousness is a little higher. And that's what's happening on the planet. It's the gravity is changing to the point where it's lifting, and people are starting to instantly pop with intuition. Well, you're not sure how you knew that, but then you know that, but then you can't argue with that because you know that, and you're like, but I didn't know it before. And there's that slight variation of, and then you just go on with it. And so people are starting to wake up and get it. Now, the more asleep you are, the more you're going to insult this world. You're going to hate it. You're not going to like it. You got to attack it. You got to kill it first. You got to jump on the bandwagon. Who else? So that person's age can matter to some degree of that will affect the way they function. So when you were 0 to 7, you are absorbing, and basically 7 to 12, you're absorbing, but you're also practicing what you learned, how to be a little human, how to react, how to do social skills, how to, do all these things. And then by the time you hit 13, you're supposed to begin to step up a little bit more because you come online, you become more your spiritual self because your brainwave is more in the beta form. But you're not really your 5% because a part of that you've already put to sleep. So you have to go through all of these things. Like at 13, you got to go, oh my God, I can't. You have to understand certain concepts of time and people's where they're at, and do I annoy them? You have to learn a little bit more about the social interaction and social skills. But this is where also hormones come in, and the things that we used to obey and do so well as a kid, we may end up becoming an extreme people pleaser, or all of a sudden I heard somebody that just always feeling they have to fight. You're beginning to look for you. But it isn't until you get into your 30s that all of a sudden, if you have repeated and you're doing the next logical step, getting married, having babies, blah blah, whatever the step is, but you don't feel like you, and you really don't know who you are, and that's nobody talks about that. They keep that out of the equation. That's why you have all of these certain schools. I can't remember the name of some of these schools, but where they don't force a particular regimen. It is take your talents and develop them, and let's develop along with it some other knowledge so that you can really hone in on your gifts and your skills instead of just mass producing a little worker. Because, well, that's a whole other thing. You with me so far? So your brain has a lot to do with taking in and receiving this information, but it is also the brain that oh good, thank you, Ernie, that projects out like a television set. So if this is working, the TV is working, you are going to receive the signal, and then you are going to project out. Now, as the signal is being received and it goes through all of the things that you've collected, the belief systems, the value systems, the borrowed experiences, the things you've watched and you made it your own, even though you never had a personal experience, you're picking up keys and codes about life. And then if you are not really in charge of your story, you're going to turn the TV on outside other people's opinions and then be put into a spell. You'll be programmed by what it is that the consciousness is at that level. So most of the TV, if you listen to the news and you're like, I love the news, I want to be updated, but it's all about fear, war, sadness, grief, loss. You may be into that. But I hated the anxiety, the worry, the feeling that I have to live in paranoia. And so I don't watch the news. If I'm supposed to understand something important, Spirit lets me know. One way or the other, I will get that piece of information. But I don't run with it with my ego. I don't run with it with just half of me. And every time I start to really connect with who I am, and it may piss people off out there, but that is because I'm still doubting myself. And the less I doubted myself, I'm going to attract in different people. Well, look at all you wonderful people. Why would you be here? Because there's something that I'm saying and doing that's making you go, I kind of need this information. And then you'll collect it and you'll go to dream, and then your spirit, if you're connected with your spirit, if you know how that, if you're in a shit show and you know how to use OMG, place it on your head, or use EFT or any other tools that we have, you shift the brain. People will come to me, and then if you haven't watched it, you're going to have to. Or if you haven't experienced, go for it. Let's get the experience. But people can be in such shit shows, it flips the brain. What people don't understand is, I want you to understand the program versus who you really are, which is your 5%. 5% are program. So I'm being my 5%, and it's constant. It's constant variables, constant things. Now, if I go into the other room and I have to experience a Akashic record that's still wide open, that's saying my soul saying it's prepared to understand, not just live it and experience it, because that level of consciousness says, yeah, I just come here to experience. And it's beautiful because we came here to experience that, but we got so caught up into it, we lost the ability to recover, to upgrade, to change. We got so much stuck into the pain, the suffering. And now we're returning back to love. We're returning. Now we also got to create it too. Oh, wonderful. Thank you. Oh, yep. Nikki's going to be on, or in a chat. Yep. So just pay attention. Just pay attention to what I'm saying. You're not here by accident in this particular era of time. Most of you that are, if you're listening to me, are choosing, I want a different reality. Now, I know how this reality is, and I don't like it. I'm done. Now, how do we get you not to believe? How do we change that belief? It's the brain. It's the knowledge you put into it. It is how you can wake up and go, wait a minute, what? I've never seen that before. But it's also the instant. Like, I will use Source Point Healing Tool or MWS Success Hope Therapy, and people will be in a major shit show and moving the energy. You're doing it. I do it myself. Moving the energy, and all of a sudden you start to feel calmer. Your brain, that's like the blood is starting to go back into your forebrain, your body, the visceral nerve that was going nuts with anxiety, it's now relaxing. And if you're using a particular tool, I used OMG a few times. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Glad to see you, Betty. Now, as you begin to see the difference, like Betty's saying, I was a shit show, and in a matter of a few minutes, and I can turn around time, I feel better. And a lot of people need to witness, do you want this or better? This, I'm in my shit show, or do I want better? And it's not a trick. It is literally allowing yourself to bring that blood up, to put the blood back into the body and put yourself into a physical state of calmness. And you learn to carry the cup of peace with you. And you train the body and the brain. And you don't have to go there. Now, if you start learning all the other little things that I teach, then all of a sudden you're going to go, well, is it true I have to react that way? No. Well, I don't want to. It's this or better. When I'm in my mental state, emotional state, and it's less than love, I can be depressed, I could be hyper, I could be anxiety, making great fear, I could be so stressed to the max. And if I wasn't using my 5%, I would just be a program, and I would think, oh my God, I'm never going to be able to get out of this. And you will feel doomed. You will feel hopeless, helpless, victimized. Stress. Now, I've had to go through a stressful situation with this Zoom Facebook thing. I have to figure out how to get my show to work, which if it was ego,
oh my God, I gotta be here all day. It's still not solving. They need to figure it out.
what I've learned is, okay, I got to go through this process, but how do I want to go through this process? I don't really want to, but that's my ego. Okay, so I'm coming in with a different attitude and going, what do I need to learn from this? What is it that's going to develop? Well, let's tell you what it's developed. One, I can resolve. So I turned around and found out I can use StreamYard to be able to project my show onto Facebook where I don't lose people. Number two, because I couldn't do it Monday on my show, I ended up going to YouTube. So now we have, hence, a YouTube channel that is broadcasting live. We still have the TikToks, okay? But what I also discovered was this ability to see how am I still reacting after a few days, that I have to wait instead of going, I want it now. I didn't do that. I was like, okay, as soon as I can get it is today after the show. And I'm supposed to meet with some people and hopefully they'll get it fixed. So how are you reacting, being, before it can get fixed? Oh, I know when we were younger, it would be, I want the outcome now. I want that particular outcome now. And I'm going to drive myself crazy because it's not resolved. And everything can go wrong. Everything, and it's just, they're not gonna, and then you would talk and they're like, well, it's not gonna be figured out. I know that. And then I'm gonna have to do this. I'm gonna have to do that. But I don't need to live there. This is what I've learned. This is what I've learned. I put my hand up and I'll calm down those chemical peptides. The emotions have the wisdom locked into it. And when you allow yourself to understand that, and you have all these little bits and pieces that are super important, then when you are taking this emotion that's on a memory, you know it's the past because you don't know how to feel right now. And the only way you know how to feel right now is because you experienced it in the past. So this, when you start to use your healing tools or whatever tools you're using, then all of a sudden the emotions resolve, the charge on the issue, on the story drops the wisdom. And the emotion, the memory starts to be filed away. But the wisdom gets to be put in that special place where all wisdoms go. And so when you're in that calm state, that wisdom is like a key. It unlocks so that you don't have to repeat. Now, what do I mean by repeat? Have you ever gotten in a fight with somebody and all of a sudden they said to you, done, finished, and then they walk off, everybody, and all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, no, I've changed, let me back in, let me back in, I've changed, I really learned my lesson, I've changed. In that moment, in their mind, they have worked through all of this process about how to self-regulate by controlling in their behavior, but it's only short-lived. They will go back when they start to get comfortable and complacent to the nature of the program that they have not resolved. You with me? But what happens here in this world of healing, in this healer's journey, I'm done being a reluctant healer, is that when I step up and show up for myself, and I know how to hold space for myself, I'll put my hand on my forehead, I will tap, and I will begin to witness. So all of a sudden, everything's great, and all of a sudden, and this is where a lot of people don't realize, they're happy, and all of a next minute, they're bitch, they're anger, they're stressed, happy, and then you hide it, you put on these, nobody understands that. I've watched people, they will drop who they really are and just be the pain of the program. And then they hate the world. Everything is the enemy. I've got to prove a point. I need to fight like hell. We've all been there. Don't tell me you haven't. If you did, you come to the. If you haven't, then you come to the wrong planet. But the pain, everything in the body, the way it speaks, is serving us. It shows us that it's still serving us, checking out, or you're developing. So even though you look at something and you're judging it like hell, you're not sitting in the discernment of going, wait a minute, why is that even, why am I, hold on. Amy says, I had a headache for 3 days, could get most of it gone, but it kept coming back. Brenda did soul coaching with me with a different intention. It was gone within 5 minutes. Excellent. Hi there, Sophia. So what happens is that you're made of energy, electromagnetic energy, and your body will, the 12, the 14 meridians, and 2 of the meridians are also a vessel, so they've got other jobs. But it changes you. They are your orchestra. Each of those are a piece of an instrument that you would play. And if they would be, one's a violins, and over there's a tuba, and all of it, and if they were trying to play with their own intentions, it could be disastrous sounding. Have you ever heard kids learning how to play in school? Oh my God, earplugs, please. They don't know how to use the instrument, and they don't know how to use it to make that harmony of them hitting the music with notes and the frequencies. Well, that's what happens when you have all these parts. What do you mean? I don't have, I'm just Brenda, right? No. Every time you have a personality, and tell me if you've done this. Okay, so you're hanging out with this person, you have this personality, and then when you go into your room, you have a whole different personality. And then when you go hang out with this person, it's a whole different personality from that person. And you go to the shops, that's a whole other personality from that. Then, so who are you? Who are you? So you got to learn to sculpt yourself. I mean, I went down to the store one time and I was telling everybody my story, and I'm like, why is that necessary? Why are you doing that? And what I realized why I was doing that was because I had displaced myself from where I lived in Michigan for so long. And now I'm over here and everything's different. So I'm learning. I want to connect. I want people. And it's, I really like this person, but we're not liking me. They didn't want to know me. It's not, they just couldn't see me. So I'm like, oh, well, why is it I like her? What is the thing about it? And why do I have to, I wanted to experience disappointment. Well, that's not her problem. When people start to have different perspectives and they don't have the same heart as you, it's time to wake up just a little bit more and realize, like, one of the things I've really experienced, you got to really get the experience to understand this one. So as a child, we're like, I'm hurt. I'm going to take my cookies and go home, and then give up on life and ever trying that again. Well, you keep getting pushed into doing these things. But if you live in shyness, or you live into that self-consciousness, I'm self-conscious and they're going to judge me, you'll never get past your arrested development. You'll be stuck. You'll never know what's on that table of all the goodies because you don't know the table exists. And so that's self-imposed limitation. So you're going to constantly keep repeating these things over and over and over and over. Okay? This is what happens. You don't realize it. So this is that first level of the 4 steps of competency level, which is unconscious and incompetent. You know everything, but you're unconscious of what everything is. But there's stuff you need to know you don't know you need to know. So then we create these experiences. I think our knowledge is rare. Interesting. Okay. Ugh, I might be in arrested development. Chances are, yes. Everybody is on every subject. That's how we all start. But then when you start, like, when you grow, or you can do the natural progression, or you eventually can take and learn from people like me and this and that, and what will happen, there's a fire alarm going off. That's ours. I think my moderator is in charge. Everything else would be just fine. If there's anything dangerous, he would have come out running. Well, how would you have normally responded? What? I need to take care of it. Well, I know there's another human being in the house. And he probably is that darn toaster of ours. Okay, my fire alarm had an issue recently, and it's super freaking sensitive. It's super freaking sensitive. And that can be embarrassing. My mother would get so angry that the fire alarm would go off, and she always thought people thought she was a bad cook. And one time I'm outside with because we lived in the country, and they just built a house, and a couple moved in, and it was a young boy my age. And so I would take my bunny rabbit on a leash for a walk, and he had an animal too. I can't remember what he had. And anyways, he got permission to come over and play in my yard. And so we're outside and we're doing all these things and having fun with our animals and laughing and joking. And the fire alarm goes off. And my mother, God rest her soul, just opened the door, just gave me these eyes. Now, she had the eyes to kill. Now, she has these beautiful see through blue eyes. I don't know if you've ever noticed that on people. And I'm like, it's like, don't you dare talk about the fire alarm and my cooking. You know. Oh my God. That took me a long time to heal out. But sometimes it is just, everybody's had these things, but what did she do? She went inside and started to think I was going to do this, and she hated what that. So she had these intolerance tubes. She had all these things on and this and that. Other people think fire alarm, oh my God, I'm going to die. Am I safe? Am I safe? Am I safe? Now, if I was living by myself, I'd be going, oh wait, I'm gonna have to, it's getting my attention. But he's in the house. I heard him roam around. And it's the darn toaster. When one teeny tiny crumb falls off your bread. So I've experienced it. I know. If I didn't experience it before, I probably would have been jumping around. Do we need to respond the way our parents did? Be angry or be this or that? Do we? When I started asking myself, when I dropped my fork, I'm like, oh my God! And I caught, and I said, wait a minute. Is it true that I have to pitch a fit? Where did I learn that? So it's asking these existential questions or asking these awake questions enough to, when I give that much energy, it burns up. You wish it would burn up the fat, but it doesn't. It causes stress. You with me so far? I'm like, wait a minute, did I just drop myself below 500? And that means now my body is not being able to hold the light. That, you know, the more light it holds, the more healthier it holds. For a split second, the cells in my body and the visceral nerve and the blood went, oh! And then my 5% said, all good. It's all good. He's got this. We don't trust. We don't know how to do that. We don't. We know how to run with the seat of our pants, knee-jerk reactions, and it's called autopilot. Nobody's home. The 5% you're not even connected with, and you'll jump into these emotions and thoughts, and you'll be a whole different, completely person that can be painful to live with, or painful because it's happening to you. Our brain's energy, the polarity, the main polarity here will flip. The blood in the frontal lobe will go to our limbs. The part of our brain that's supposed to help create reality, no, you just listen to a program and then you went into the survival part of your brain, or you moved into the emotional brain, or you went. What does healing do? It brings you back to the center of self, not to become self-centered and be intellectualize this and think it through and rehash it and live with my 41 thoughts being in high beta and just like, no, there's a whole nother way to live. Aw, thank you. I got a little koala. Our brain. Now, on this planet, which we've been observing, and I got confirmation from somebody that I follow, and It made sense. The orientation, the gravitational pull, the thing that the way the brain receives, the collective, that level of consciousness, mine lifted. Everybody's lifted. But where are you? We're not going to be on the same page because it's a different perspective. It's different lessons. It's different things. It is, okay, so in a planetary astrological thing, the time you were born and place you were born on this and the planets, yes, they do matter. But what I've learned is that you matter more. You're not doomed by fate and destiny. Yes, you set it up. That's your soul's contract. You get to have a sneak peek at the soul's contract. But who's receiving it? What part is intellectualizing it, or what part is using both part of the brain, the left and the right, that goes, I get it. I get to see the bigger picture. I don't have to. I can hold that cup of peace. I can train myself. You with me? So what is reality? Is it your auto program? Is it the way the brain shut off and the stress? Are you those? Because the energy that comes off of you can come at like roses, or it can come like a steam engine, or it can come as a knife. When you start to show up for yourself, again, I'm done being a reluctant healer. I'm waking up. I'm going to take charge of how I took offense. Wait a minute, I just lost life force. Why would I want to do that? I don't. Okay, I'm going to take charge and heal this. Oh, excellent. Sophia's going to come on today. She won something. So there's many ways of learning or being in the drawings, so you can come on. And we have some piffs, people. We have some piffs. We like piffs. That's pay it forward. She paid some money so you can have a reading. When we start to live in our higher self, when we begin to allow ourselves to be great joy, because you're hardwired for it, we're actually suffering as an option. And people look at me and go, oh, you're stupid, you're crazy. No, they've never had the experience, so they can't speak about it. They're only repeating what they learned until they're ready to unlearn it. And when you begin to unlearn it, and you begin to move in a new state, you're going to get some education, or are you going to take the same shit and try to create a new reality? That just doesn't work. This is like people like me are popping in and showing up. I can't tell you how many of my students are going, my God, I waited for you a long time. I'm like, I'm sorry, I finally made it. Yep. I did it in small groups over in Michigan, and I started that in my 30s. But it wasn't until I got into my 50s that I was able to do this, because I had to do the platform that was there. So these are stepping stones. And so what does that mean? It means there's a part of me. You just got off work? Wow, so that must have been your second job. Is that as I download my spirit, it's got to come through a filter. It's got to come through a filter. What filters do you have that are effing your world up? Where you got to, oh man, I haven't learned my lesson yet. Oh shit, this is happening again. Oh my God, this always happens. Which mind? Because when you are asleep in your ego, in your pain, and you're walking around this pain, and pain is serving you, and you can only see through pain, and you basically what you did was you hog-tied your spirit, you bound them up, gagged them, stuffed them in the corner, because I gotta survive, and I have to react this way, and this is what I believe. And that's also a reluctant healer. They're still on their hero's journey, collecting information. Oh, I don't know why that my live was going to end on TikTok. It hasn't been 4 hours. See, I'm in another timeline. we start shifting. Now, again, I could keep teaching, but I'm going to start to do some readings in a few minutes. What did you learn? Your body is basically a television set. It is like the projection screen. Okay, it's the TV and it projects out. But you're also, okay, so remember, you can't see your face unless you look in the mirror. And as this television set, this physical body projects out, are you able to see what you need to see, or are you just going to watch what you downloaded, auto programs, auto responses, and you're going to blame the outer world when it's your filing system, your definitions is what you're seeing. So as you're beaming in and beaming through and projecting out, not necessarily projecting on, that's a whole nother personality thing. But as that energy goes out, and if you don't know how to read it, you're going to keep yourself separated. You're going to keep yourself in that victim state, that separation state, that state of not being whole. When you can see what is the people, the dreams, the aspects, when you begin to see all of this of how you know the emotions and how people show up and how you have to be hurt. Do I have to keep repeating being shy or listen, self-imposed? Do I have to? Do I have to? Do I have to? When you start to wake up, you get to be here and watch. You watch through your eyes, and you don't have to respond because you're going to start building up this aura, because we have an orb. It's the aura. It's from tip to tip of your energy field that creates a circle or a bubble. And a lot of people's bubbles are pulled way in, or it is in some form not strong enough. So you don't know how to have a weachy immune system. You don't know how to have boundaries. You don't know how. This is what healing does. On the healer's journey, it starts to build where you couldn't. Oh, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Heal, 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 heal. You'll download differently. And all of a sudden, because you're choosing not to keep waking up with that same program, you all of a sudden will be downloading. Oh my God, I know what to say. I know what to do. You start to return to self-esteem, self-confidence. Do you understand? Yeah, you feel like you're in a twilight zone all the time. But if you can learn how to be your 5%, you will be amazed. You'll be amazed with yourself. Because you'll be in a state of going, I can choose. I can choose. Holy shit, I'm watching how other people choose. Oh my God, that's a program. I'm arguing with a program, but that's a human. Oh, wait a minute. They don't know they're in a program. And they're okay to hurt me. But do I need to be hurt? Do I need to receive it as hurt? The biggest thing that I learned with my ex was that every time I'd come to heal, and every time I trained my brain not to go there, and every time I healed, every time I'd feel this, every time I hit, that charge dropped the wisdom. And one day, I'm sitting there, and he's doing his, wait, I have got no reaction. I've got no, I'm not responding. And I'm like, God, when's it going to get done? And I realized that because I had healed so many times that emotional chemical peptide, it dropped the wisdom. And then that wisdom started to work. And as that wisdom is in that special place where all wisdom goes, I viewed it through a different projective lens. And I realized I didn't have to lose power. I didn't have to. And that's when I discovered that the orbs that are around us, when they cross, and I call it the MWS scalar field, it's a relationship field. And this relationship field is that if I believe this, then they have to show up and give me that. So if I have the feeling of pain and suffering that I didn't grow out of from the child or close that Akashic record, then he's going to have to come in and provide how I recognize myself as pain. And I can turn around and say, "Gah, there we go again." And he's just like the rest of them. I'm like, why do I keep showing up? Where do I need to heal? Where do I need to look? Because as soon as I stop playing in that part, they can keep doing it, but then they're going to disappear. Well, a lot of people say, no, I don't. I am attached to them and I don't want them to disappear, so I'll stay in the abuse because I don't have faith, trust. I don't have that self esteem in me. But when you keep healing and you take and dissolve that chemical peptide and it drops the wisdom, and then the memory becomes a memory, and this wisdom is what helps you look through, and you start projecting differently, and then you get tested again and you're looking, you're like, I have the self-esteem, I've got the confidence, go ahead, I know you're going to hurt me, why do I deserve that? I know. You learn. You're like imagine that you are this piece of beautiful clothing, and it's made, by Christian Dior or any, I don't know any of Vera Wang. Okay, anyway, and it's worth. I mean, it's worth, every stitch is worth paying. But then it gets put on a discount rack. You are on a freaking discount rack, and nobody thinks you're worth buying. But when you know that you have self-esteem and confidence, not in a cocky manner, but you're like, what will happen is because you healed, that drop of wisdom will be the words that you thought you could never have. And all of a sudden, these stuff comes out of your mouth. And you're not going to do that anymore. And you don't have to attach yourself to anybody because you are whole. You can draw in and have some major, wonderful things happen together. So, what does this mean? You're going to find that you are worth it. You just keep attracting things in to tell you that you're not worth it. But it was always there. It's like when you put the ruby slippers on, there's no place like home. And when you start to notice that it's this or better, and you start learning how to stop being a reluctant healer, and you notice that you shifted yourself like that, turnaround times like that, and it's, wait a minute. Yeah, I'm not going back to that. You can't make me. You getting this? Yeah, wonderful. April's coming in. You getting this? All right. Hopefully you can paraphrase and rewatch this, and you've got different platforms from TikTok. You won't be able to see it because it goes into storage, but you can rewatch it on YouTube, Medicine Woman Solution, that's SOULTION, or you can watch it on Facebook, go under Medicine Woman Solution, SOULTION, look at the videos, and the video section will show you. Remember to subscribe, share, and like, and keep an eye out of all of the ways that you can win a chance to come on and heal your shit, understand more about your life, and grow. And yeah, we can do this. Right now, April has paid, so her and Nikki has paid, Amy has paid, so their name goes into a drawing for the expedites. Do we have any bring a friends? I don't know if we do or don't, but that's a way. PIFs. So right now I know Amy and Linda, Sophia has done PIFs, so that means their name goes in that drawing. We have mentions. Now Linda and April Lynn do a lot of mentions of Medicine Woman Solutions off the show, and so that can happen. You can look at the reels, comment on the reels, and that can happen. And I've actually found proof that it says that they shared. That's why I don't understand what happened, because there is a place that shows the shares of the reels. And so I think that I may still, if I see them, if I don't see them, I can't help it. It's just like when you share this video out right now, and as long as it goes to groups and your name comes back to me, I look at the end of the thing and I write down all of the names that share. Oh my God. Hi, sweetheart. Okay, so when I was back in Michigan, I had 3 Jens. Jennifer Lasika, she was 1 Jen. Oh, hi. I just got done with a very deep Spirit Speaks, and because the planet is shifting in such a unique way, it was kind of important we begin to see how our brain sees. I'm your number 1 Jen. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Number 3 Jen is gone. Number 2 Jen is there, but busy as all get out. Oh, you listen to that part? Good, good. Okay, so I'm just going to take a quick drink, and I'm going to open up, and then let's just pray. Thank you, Spirit. Everything works together and nothing crashes. We have a few people on tonight. Oh, hold on. I think it's going to start screaming at me. Hold on. Let's see. Who do we have here? We have April Lynn that's coming on. We have Sophia. And it's funny. Normally I see. Well, what's happening here? Okay, there's the. Okay, I never highlighted those. I'm not sure how those. Says my email is open. It must be on my big computer. There we go. Amy, you did not pay. Hi, Deborah. Hi, how are you? I don't even see Amy's thing, so I don't know what's up with that unless she put it under something else. So it's, I'm not suing. She doesn't have to. She does not have to. I'm just, what? Do I know how to use my own? There it is. Yes. Okay, let me go ahead and list this up. So for video tonight, we know we have Linda. We know we have April Lynn. We know that the chat is Nikki. Okay. And let's see, we have Piffs. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 Piffs. And I'm going to put down Morgan. And if we get more people, then we can do the duck race. Yes, you did. Okay, well, I don't see it, but I trust you have. So I'll put down Miss Ames. And did you do your normal 3 Piffs or yes or no? If you did, I will write that down so we end up having 7. We have Angela Stokes. Okay, that's weird. I don't know why it's not showing it at all. So if I've never read you before, you get a chance to win a free reading by saying, hey, you never read me before, so I'll give you one. If you are like, oh, but she read me, but we do have some piffs, and you can say some piff, please, and then I'll write it down. And if we have more people, then piffs will play the duck race. And Morgan, you still have the opportunity to come on, and you don't have to do video. Audio is just fine. Just understand that. You have one. Okay. Yes, Deborah, I will put your name down. Okay, again, if we have more than that, we'll play the duck race. Otherwise, we got collecting names here. We have all these wonderful opportunities to help people to heal. So I'm done being a reluctant healer. Oh, Jenna, I'm going to put you down. 5, 6, 7. And let's look at what we've got. Now, I know that I'm going to ask because I know the time crunch between April's work schedule. And it's not about favoritism. It's about honoring people sometimes. So between Linda and April, Linda popped in and she's got a free one. That doesn't mean she has to be pushed aside. So I want to know the urgency to either one of you, April or Linda, because Spirit is not giving me a clear answer. It wants to go with the correct order. So they're telling me, see, Spirit is like going, oh yeah, we're going to let you choose. Instead of using my spiritual intuition, I'm using the logical intuition that says, oh, well, maybe I should, or I should, Okay. All right. So thank you, Sophia. I appreciate that very much. That answers that. And we'll go from there. So I know that Miss April Lynn is getting her computer going. I got to remember how to do this because it's such a strange way of, because it's SteamYard. I mean, I don't, oh, yeah, no. Yeah, no. I will do it another way. Well, I'll eventually do it another way. It's starting to get warm here. Some of you may not have noticed, but it is going up. It's around 80 now. And I can feel it. I feel it. I had unplugged this fan because I have to buy a new outlet strip. And anyway, I have to get a new outlet strip. So I can get the fan. I got one fan that could run if it gets too warm for me. It's so funny. Spirit told me I needed to have like this gray shirt, but with diamonds. And because I had a silver necklace, it just didn't energetically. You sent a screenshot. To whom? Oh, I didn't do it. She did. My brain again. So that's part of that forgetfulness. I trusted you. I trust. Ames? Yes. Yeah, I hear you guys. Do you have snow, Jennifer? I don't even know. Oh, you're making a sandwich. Who wants to come first, April or Linda? Because it don't matter to me if you want to eat your sandwich. Has he ever had a reading before? I can't remember. I think he has, so that wouldn't be free. So then he can put his name down for a piff. If I read him before, how did that last one work? Did it make sense to you? Okay. All right, I'm looking. I'm just making sure. All right, whatever you choose to do. I'm going to send the link to Linda as well. Enjoy your sandwich if that's what you want to do. Whoever gets in first. I don't. We'll see how it goes. See, this is why Spirit is like, okay. Oh, good, he did. Yeah. Okay, wonderful. I have to say, am I disappointed? Is in pain? Did I lose power? I may. Ooh, it didn't go through. Oh, Jesus. I may have. I feel disappointed because all of the work I did last night worked. And I think the reason why, when it processed, it was supposed to be like 10, 15 minutes. It took more than 10 hours to process a 20-minute video. And I think it's because of the orientation. And so they definitely changed that. Sometimes we flip a coin. I've done that work. I'm just, yeah. So this is why Spirit said there was too many variables. It's like, yes, no, yes, no. I'm like, oh, wait, what? Oh, here we go. Here we go. We're going to bring in Linda. And I just realized where I could get the comments, which I couldn't see before because I haven't used StreamYard in like forever. Didn't have to use this. I could use that. Okay, whatever. I'm good. I'm learning. Hello. Let's see if we got some volume. Oh, no. I don't hear nothing. Might be my end. Give me a second. Huh. Yes, it's my end. Okay. Now go ahead and speak. Yep, I can hear you.
Hi.
Did we just see a glimpse in the matrix? It looked like you bleeped there for a second.
I feel it. I feel it. I feel it.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to run with it. We'll see how. So you're in a different part of your house.
I'm in my room.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, well, all right. Just must be different things. How can I help you? And I'm so thank you for everything you do that helps supports this movement. and that you won from the drawing. I think it was the mentions or something. I don't remember which one you did, but I deeply appreciate it. And so your reward is, how can I help you?
I'm going to
Oh God.
let spirit lead because I'm like drifting off, and
No. Yep. I got that.
I'm pretty much I've been with the light ships that have been coming to see me quite often, so
Okay.
I'm running with it.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
We are going to set this up because Spirit is like, okay, you're going to give her this. I am. All right, what's happening is this. You ready?
Yeah.
The other day, 2 days ago, 2 or 3 days ago, Monday show, whatever. I don't know. I've lost days. The point is that I got beamed up to a ship. I know I did in the middle of the night, and I went to Soul School, but it wasn't our ship. It was my mothership. It was really weird. And I was like, I thought the other ship was my ship, but apparently it's, so I must have just came and visited somewhere. But it was really interesting because I came back and I'm like, they kept telling me, you're not going to remember any of this, but if you have a code that was monkey see, monkey do, and the brain mirror neurons. I said, okay. So I woke up long enough, came back to this reality. I said, monkey see, monkey do, mirror neurons, and went back to sleep. Okay, it was the best sleep I had, man. I'd like to have a little bit more of that one. I asked again last night. Yeah, no. All right, whatever. But what does that mean is that I feel like if you haven't noticed, you're going to be going to very special ashrams for healing or special schools like that.
Yeah.
So watch out for codes that they may give you, whether it's in pictures or actual words. Does that make sense?
Oh, it's making me want to cry. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, because you're learning now. What's happening on this planet is the gravitational pull inside of our brain that changes that level of knowledge, which means, oh my God, how did I know that? But I know that. I'm not going to judge that, and you forget. So you're like, hey, so you can really feel yourself waking up. With that, you are now meant to take and bring in the like I said, monkey see, monkey do. So for me, I had to bring that code back so I could talk to the tribe. You okay? I don't know what that screen is in front of your face.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No.
Something's going on. I'm like, it's like your birds. It's like I'm speaking. What is going on? They're singing, but it's coming to me in a different
hear them?
language.
You can hear them?
Yes.
Okay, that's what you got to do. Your brain wants to reject because it doesn't seem logical. But the Amy, what's that called? We just heard it today. So the intensity of our gifts, and the first one part of our gift, I don't know if it's audio or not. I can't remember it. My brain just did it too. And that's normal to forget. But it is to understand that the gifts don't have to be where the brain rejects.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So how you just responded, caught your attention, doesn't have to be scary or alarm, and clairaudience. Yeah, that's it. And so what happens is you're going to pause for a minute and you're going to go, oh, I'm learning. I learned this. Now I'm going to have it in real time and space and experience. And so your intensity of certain sensory systems are going to be stronger in some form. In this case, I'm assuming audio, but it's not just audio and hearing, but the translation of. Okay. So when you heard the translation, how did it come in? Through actual words, feelings, emotions? What is it?
I'm going to explain it in a way that my human self understands it. It's like shapes and fluid movement, but also it's like those shapes and movements translate to me in words. And like usually I would freeze and I would like shut it off, but I was mesmerized by what your birds were saying. Like, it was making me want to cry. And what I heard was, okay, the bird tribes are coming back.
Oh. Yes. Okay, now, and on the sense of to which, who will see it, what will see it, what was going on, will be depending on what level of consciousness you're at. Okay, so to make sense of what she said, have you ever seen your breath in a very cold space, your warm breath, and it creates shapes? Imagine a bird singing and the shapes come out like a circle or a different shape, and then it moves because it's on the breeze. That's what I saw. When she said it, it was when it sings, it vibrationally took shape, and then it was carried on the wind.
Yeah.
That's what I saw. Now, why is this important? Is that, again, I'm supposed to be holding this frequency for you so that you can go, yeah, I don't have to use my judgment or my ego part of me to, no, this is familiar.
Yeah. And I also want the part of me that second guesses myself, because I automatically shut down and automatically say, oh, no, I'm not hearing. I'm just cuckoo, you
Right.
know?
Okay. Now that is what we're going to heal, because in order to take that next level of consciousness, we have to take deprogram you from not just what's happened to you, but on the collective. This is that circle of language I keep telling you about somewhere in your space. And that is, I don't need to keep rewriting the ego matrix code. Okay.
Right.
So when, like, we're going to use the word cuckoo, and I'm looking at your body, and it is, we're going to talk about your 8-year-old self that had so much joy in doing something. You're doing the action of, which could potentially, which you've done in the past, created self-efficacy, meaning getting that results, having the good self-esteem, all of this stuff. But you were greeted with one of your themes of what you had to heal so you can evolve out of, instead of keep evolving back into hell. Okay, so the door's open. You're ready to run free from that.
Yeah.
Okay, so but it's very habitual. So in the morphogenic field that's in our aura, that vending machine, it is saying that I was greeted with, when I was doing my wonderful thing, let's say I'm making my clay of horse, details to me is beautiful and they're gorgeous, and somebody came along and with their invading energy, okay, so your inner world starts to create and bring in, you could feel how helpless you were feeling when you felt that energy from those people, and they used love as a weapon. Okay, this is the story backdrop. So when you trusted and you're like, there's no reason not to, they came in and they said something as simple as, I don't look like a horse. What? Now they could be in a bad day, but you interpret it as they hate me, or I'm stupid, I'm self-conscious, crunch, 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 throw that clay away and never pick up that gift again. I take my cookies and go home. Now, this is how a child part works. Now, as you're bringing up that level of consciousness, your 13-year-old self will go, well, fuck it, I'm grabbing that clay and I'm going to throw it in your face. Ugh. Okay? Or you're still running with shy and timid aspects. So you've got two things that are running but are in great conflict, that are not part of the whole. They are just experiences that have developed their own personality.
Right.
You with me so far? Good.
Yeah.
Now, Linda's waking up. She's like, the Saturn's return, so she's got to be somewhere around, I don't know how old you are, but, when we hit 30 or so, right around there, 28 to whatever, we're second. Hey, wait, why am I? We're starting to really come online and say, I'm not living the life I'm supposed to.
Yep.
Okay. Now, if you don't have tools, you're just going to feel like you're climbing 10 steps forward and 50 steps back, or you're climbing up and then you get slammed down. You got to start all over again. But we're going to take and help you a little bit further, because there's a part of you that says you are controlled by the emotions of others. You are told that you're supposed to self-regulate them, but you are already supposed to know how to self-regulate yourself, young lady. Now it's your job to self-regulate me.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you got to wake up from that and go, oh, I'm going to get my wisdom. Let that wisdom drop, because I'm not doing that again. So to help you get this is notice that when that energy came in and you had all of this pressure on you, you're supposed to give up expectations. That's part of what your scalar relationship field said, is that this is how I have to do things. Well, you don't have to. First thing you're going to do is L1S, how you have to give up expectations. I mean, literally, you're doing your thing, you're making your horse, you're doing whatever, and they come in. Now, first it's going to be your kids, because you've tested and done this all your life. So now it's like, do you love me, mommy? Okay, you don't mind showing up for your kids. You don't mind doing it. But when they refuse to, or reluctant to grow and want to do it for themselves, what happens? What happens? You go back into the program. You go back into the program. Does that make sense? Very good, very good.
Oh, yeah.
So now you have to understand, adults come in your space. They're expecting you to drop everything.
All the time.
Right. Now, notice how you feel that you have no choice. That's what you're going to heal. You're also going to do L1S, because that's about giving expectations. You're going to come on instead? Awesome. Somebody just said that, I'm going to come on instead. Okay. So what I'm looking at is I'm looking at how you have learned, I got to reject my reality, which means, oh, I reject that. No, it's like my reality. Yeah. Okay. I have some right and wrong beliefs here that I'm supposed to drop what I'm doing and give you my attention 1,000% and then forget about me.
That is so funny, Brenda. When you started talking, right, and you brought up my kids, right? Ethan, my youngest with special needs, just walked to the door. And usually I would turn and attend to him, but I turned back to you and I focused on what I was doing right there, because I know he's okay. I don't need to.
Right, it's like that fire alarm. Why do I need to attend to it? It's okay. That's good. That's good. So you're seeing in this energy field, it's going to be okay. So it's the knee-jerk reaction that we're going to look at next, which is going to be your R3D, because you're overwhelmed. And this overwhelm is something that you may pick up their field. They may be overwhelmed, but they don't always need you to micromanage, right? I mean, he's maybe special needs, but the point is that, okay, I have to trust and feel safe that he is learning or going to be learning and doing this. So that knee-jerk reaction, because he was a baby at the time, he's not now, but okay, so we have to look at him as that he is aging. He is not the same kid when you first started out. You are not the same woman if you allow yourself to heal. So you're going to do a lot of L3D, because you carry a lot of impending doom. Oh my God, don't do that. Oh my God, what did I? Oh. But you're not the same woman.
No.
Okay. And so that feeling that you're, okay, so you're going to do R2D next. And this is, I have the lack of control. I have to be controlled. I have to control. I have to keep him safe. But that was then.
Right.
And if you're not watching, things could get out of control.
Right.
That also connects to that impending doom. So you got these 3 things that you need to specifically work on.
Okay. I could do it.
It is so super important that you start to just stop and feel, because you're in this field, you notice that, oh, I didn't have to respond the same way.
Right.
Now you
right.
have a code
and I
in you.
didn't have the anxiety that usually my body will have these, it's in my gut. I feel these convulsions. It's because I'm trying to like, having that inner fight where I'm like, I need to focus on him. No, he's okay. I could put myself first, it's
Exactly.
okay.
Right. So what you got from me is a new code. Okay. A new codes. And these new codes was I don't have to always do what my program tells me because I am not in that
Right.
old space and time. I'm in a new space and time. Now these tools are going to help you so that you can evolve with your son and set up a different way of being. And include yourself more in your life. That's all I'm gonna say. That's what we want to do is include more of yourself in your life. Okay, so Spirit is saying you're really good. Now notice one more thing. How much do you hate criticism?
But let's be honest here. It makes me cringe a little bit, but I'm learning to accept it. Okay. But it makes me cringe.
All right. So feedback's one thing, but people that deliberately do it to control you, that makes you cringe. So you look at the different variations of what criticism really is.
Yeah, connecting to people like I do with you and the guidance that you give me, that's heartfelt. That's that's beautiful. But when it's other people who are doing it, whether they're doing it subconsciously or unconsciously, sometimes their intentions are not so good. And that's the thing. I know and I feel and I sense what their intentions are, and I'm trying to work with that too.
Right. So that's where the energy comes into your field. We want to build your aura up. Okay, remember, we want to build your spaceship. Your spaceship, so you don't have to go to another spaceship. You don't have one. We got to build it up further. And you're going to make sure you do L3D. Okay, because it's like you do not have to change your illusion of your reality into the delusion of what they expect your life to look like. They are not the one that holds the pen.
Right.
I mean, we did when they were little, but not now. No, we got those damn pen back in our own hands. So good job. Happy healing. And thank you, Keep, for all the support you do, love. And we'll talk to you later, okay? All right, bye.
Love you.
Love you too. Okay. All righty. So Nikki is going to come on as well as I gotta change that. And we're going to give something's telling me that I need to do some of the PIFs. So I'm going to do that. I'm just going to do a couple of the PIFs, get them done. We're going to move Nikki from here to here. And then we're going to clear off this name. Okay. So is Morgan still here? And then Angela, Deborah, Jen, O, and then Jacob. We're just going to zip right through those. If you are here, let me know. If you're not here and you don't respond, I'm not going to give it to you. So I need you to be present, because if you're not, if you're new here, I can give you a free reading. I feel like we got to wait. Just even if she may be ready, I feel like Spirit wants April to be aligned or something like that. Just go ahead. Okay, no problem. Send it to Facebook. Okay. Oh, good. So we know that Deborah's here, Jennifer's here. I'm waiting for Morgan to send that statement. Now, I see a person named Marky. Have you ever had any reading from me before? Because if you know how I operate, then we would be looking at your question differently than what you think certain psychics would have you do. And just waiting for Morgan to go first. And then, like I said, on the list is then Angela Stokes. Is she here? If not, then I will go into the next person. So, how y'all doing? How are you all doing? And let's see, okay, so this is what her question is, and we're going to show it. Sometime last year, I let someone on TikTok read me, and they said I would meet someone named Allie or Allison. And just recently, I think she's a new student or maybe just visiting, and her name is Allison, I think. I was wondering if we're supposed to vet have some kind of connection or something. Okay, now, is that read a good psychic read? That becomes a question. Because let me tell you before I go any further that a power of suggestion will activate the RAS, the reticular activating system. So it'll start to see words, things, people. And if you are really meant to, that's fine. But if not, you could get disappointed. Okay? So how I'm going to put this read up is this. Your question, your statement, is this person I think it is it the person that psychic said? It said, not really, but you could keep following the energy in your field that says that you are learning to trust your own self and not other people. There are people that you had and you could have communicated with and dated or hung out with at least 4 times, but you don't know how to build your own intuition. You know ego intuition, but you don't know spirit intuition. And so this person that you're thinking of, they go, why aren't you pursuing them anyway? Or why aren't you finding out if you should communicate? So now let's back this up. To answer the question, this new student, and maybe just visiting, I think that's who they are. I was wondering if we're supposed to have some kind of connection or something. Yes. You are meant to get stronger at connecting and communicating with people. Okay? When you're looking for direction, I said, did you need that set of instructions from that psychic to tell you to go see this person? No. Because of the passive part you're supposed to learn out of, you are going to have to behave a certain way. So there's a part of you that only knows how to get certain confidence at a certain space. And Spirit is telling me that you're afraid if you go and you communicate with somebody, you're going to get highly criticized. Who is it, from your sister? Somebody's going to criticize you about your skills or how you're doing it wrong. No, you're not doing it wrong. You're learning. You're taking steps. But it is how you're hesitant about being yourself. And this is where I would tell you to take your left wrist 3 positions down, put your thumb in that 3rd position, L3D, okay? And I want you to look at how you couldn't have just started to trust yourself or trust your spiritual intuition or trust that you feel attracted and they feel like the right one. Because when people put in these suggestions and you don't feel that attraction, you are then just saying, oh, that's the one. You have been with me for a while now. That's all about you learning how to trust your inner spiritual voice. Very super important that you do so. Okay? It's very important that you do so. And this is just another test. Now, go up to them, talk to them, feel if you can feel if there's any connection. Don't fake and go, oh, they chose you, so you must be the one. I got to feel it. No. Genuinely notice if you can communicate. Learn, skill build. That's what I would tell you. I wish I could tell you something different. But learn to trust yourself. Okay, so we're going to go on to Angela, and then Deborah, and then Jenna. Okay, so Angela. And Morgan says, I don't, okay, let's go look at this. She says, I don't feel that way about them since know nothing about them and only saw them twice. I just thought I would ask. Good. Notice. You don't need to seek what that psychic said. Notice, do you feel attracted? Do you need to communicate? Because if they have that same connection with you, they'll gravitate to you too. And maybe even before you're aware of it. But there will be a magnetic attraction that you won't have to go and... But if you learn these skills, you'll be amazed with yourself. Okay? All right, now, who's next would be Miss Angela Stokes. Oops, not showing. She sent a picture. Okay, so Miss Angela. Sometimes, okay, there's something about bold, being bold. The first word is bold, and you're learning. You're learning to be bold. You're learning that I don't have to be behaved. I don't have to behave. I don't have to be change my behavior because you said that's the right way to do it. I don't have to be controlled by how you know what buttons to push on me to control me. So you're learning how to say, you know what? I don't need to be helpless or show up as helpless, or you're starting to break away from this particular personality that was defined as you. You're beginning to learn that your heart does not have to be crushed. You're starting to see how your heart was crushed when you get people in your space and they're crushed in the way they talk. You're waking up going, do I want to do that anymore? I mean, misery loves company. I'm going to go in this. No, you don't. You're like, that's familiar, but I don't know if I want that familiar anymore, because I feel like I'm not really that person anymore. So you're starting to tweak and wake up this way. Okay. So you're starting to notice you don't have to be stuck on like a broken record, stuck on that one point, be fanatical and drive it home. I gotta know, I gotta do this. Hold on, this is a program. Because you're watching it in other people, you're like, how often do I focus on one thing and drive myself to hell? I keep driving myself back to hell. I keep driving my, why? I don't need to. So this is the part that's waking up. I don't know if you can hear that part of you, but there's a part that's ready, that's done being vulnerable. All I've ever done was be vulnerable. I've always been a punching bag. I've always been this. I've always been, wait a minute. How do I know? How do I know what vulnerability feels like? Right there. When you begin to notice the vulnerability, you are meant to just focus on, I feel like I'm vulnerable. Or, oh God, I'm vulnerable and that hurts. Look at the word, study the word, feel it. And then you're going to go left wrist, first position deep. Vulnerable. Okay. And what do you mean by giving in? Giving into and transforming yourself, or going in and just feeling that vulnerability and letting the body take and that emotion that's there, and you're healing that emotion that's on every memory, and the emotion how you memorize to be vulnerable, and when you heal it out and you release the charge, you're going to start getting the wisdom, and you're going to stop going there. I don't have to. Okay, so go heal. You are so worth it, and you are watching your steps, and that is amazing. Keep growing, because you're a different person. It's this or better. Okay, we're going to go on to Miss Deborah. Miss Deborah, you are welcome. All right, so Deborah says, I'm here. Okay, so Miss Deborah. I mean, I like SteamYard. I like this feature here, but I don't want to have to pay for it because I'm already paying Zoom. I just wish that would go on Zoom. Anyway, well, they probably have it, but I don't want to pay more. Whew, there we go. I'm supposed to reset and just look at something. So now that I have Deborah, you got to start to get yourself more in a state of being present, using more of that 5%. You have been told for so long and stuck in the things that have happened to you for such a long time that you're going and, what? I can't remember. I can't find that. I don't know how to do that. And when you take your 5% and be present and say, I'm going to show up for myself and I'm going to learn this. Oh, can't figure it out. Hold on. I'm going to go and thank you, Spirit, for bringing somebody that can figure it out. And I'm going to learn how to do this myself. I'm going to learn. Just like I learned when I went and signed up. I'm going to learn. I'm doing this. And what happens to the gift of how you used to do things, the anxiety of experiences took over and created a symptom. So you can't even show up for yourself. So if you can begin to notice when you fade and you miss coming to tribal, or you miss trying to figure this out, or miss something, you are a program and an experience. And if you can begin to notice that the outside, you're stuck in a very particular point, and I feel like you're stuck in when you were 33, and the amount of energy of loftiness and this and that and contempt and stuff that had come into play has made you live in that state and created self-imposed limitations so that you don't know how to be. I am Deborah Horton and I am the age I am now, and you lift your hand off and you say that up to 10 times. You need to start becoming your fixed state. You need to start coming yourself from the past and bringing yourself home and showing up to yourself right now, and start recognizing how to do the 5%. If you are over here, you're not your 5%. If you're inside thinking, you're not your 5%. But when you are present and observing instead of absorbing energy, you can be your 5%. And you can learn to fall in love with shit that's around you. You can stay in the state of a cup of peace without absorbing and morphing into the past. So you're meant to learn. So if you can begin to notice, oh man, I was just drifted out. I wasn't present. I was a program. And if you can get to that stage that says that, then I want you to notice that you're living in what's called, how do I want to call that? I want to call that as a state of hell. You're living in that. But if you can go, whoa, I want to show up for myself. I want to learn how to stop absorbing. And I want to learn how to close that record so I don't have to always repeat and be that story. You're going to take your right wrist, okay? Yeah, you lost the entire January. Yes, that's what happens when you can't learn to be present with your 5%. And if you can learn how to change your reality by falling in love, like looking over, falling in love with a flower, your animal, whatever, that love state will shift you. You know, this is why they use gratitude and thank yous to shift you. But learning to be that 5%. Now, so you're going to take your right wrist, second position. Okay, R2D. So it's right there. Okay. 2 fingers widths down. And remember to do this. And just kind of like, let's say you're the entire month of January. Oh my God, I wasn't present. I wasn't present. I wasn't present. There was no peace. Oh my God. Begin there. Begin there. Measure it, measure it, measure it. Oh, notice how you know you're not present. Oh. Your heart wants you to be present. Okay? All right, so start with that. That's what I would tell you. We're going to move on to Miss Jen O. Miss Jen O, I know you're here. And is there anything particular? What's on your mind? Because normally I would just tell you what your spirit wants to do, but all of a sudden, it's like, I can wait. You're welcome. Oh, still dealing with Luke. Okay. So she has, it's the cat, right? It's her yellow one. Yes? Is that it? Is that correct? Am I right on? So I'm looking, she said dealing. Remember, this is about resolving to evolve and heal instead of deal. So we're going to give her something very specific. Okay? I want you to notice that I'm still dealing with it, and it's there, and this is how I know it, and it's a 10. Oh, it's 1 o'clock. Ready? Your last one. I want you to take your right hand. Let me get my gloves. I want you to take your right hand. We're going to use some SP on you, some source point, to help you shift the energy, the blood flow, so that you can listen more with the heart and the heart-brain coherence with spirit instead of how the human heart is crushed. Okay, so we're going to help you change the intuition factor. So we're going to go right wrist, first position, and you're going to put your hand across. You're going to slide it off like this. And you're going to do that 12 on each side or 24 total. And then you're going to push in. Okay, so it's right there, right under the thumb. And you're going to push and you're going to penetrate that heart. And so what we're doing with Source Point is we're going to break up that particular story that all of her meridians saying, hey, we've experienced this in the past, and this is what's going on, and her heart is crushed. This is where she's superhuman, super over-identifying with matter, so that she has lost the spiritual ability to understand with great love about the bigger picture. So she's going just in the left brain. Now, I'm noticing that your stomach, we're going to go to the left side first. Okay, we're going to go left side first. And it is right there just before the curve. Okay, right directly on top. You follow maybe the second toe up. And you don't have to use magnet, just push in and deeply rub. Now, if you can do both feet at once, great. If you can't, do left side first, then the right. Okay. This is about dealing with grief. And if we can understand that dealing with grief means we can shift from how we did things. Oh, sorry, that's not the right one. That's the one I wanted. Morgan, if I get a chance, I'll come back. Right now I'm working with Jeno. See, now she's shifted. There's something shifting. Now, the stomach meridian is about whether you're grounded to earth or not. When your spirit has to work through the mental and the emotional and have a physical experience, and it has thrown you from disconnecting from the earth and stops using the whole brain and causes you to be in such a different state that you are just pain. Okay. Now, when you're done with that, Miss Jeno, let me know. Because then we're going to move on to the left side. Follow this pinky down just before the crick, and you're going to push in. Okay, that there, right there. Okay, now just understand there will be a ledge there, like a bone and a ledge. But you're going to take your hand and you're going to use a magnet. Okay. Oh, was saying yes to the pain. Oh, okay. Wait until you're finished. So when we don't know how to be the pain body, when we only know how to be the experience, the wisdom is trapped inside. The brain becomes the hostage of the chemical peptides. And Source Point, and I don't know what that reconnection was. Oh, God. Okay, it's still working. It's still working. We're good. Now we're going to push. So you know where the next part is. Just let me know when you're done with that. Because this is small intestine. Small intestine has everything to do with feeling lost, vulnerable, inside of the pain, inside of the experience. Okay. So did you do the small intestine as well, or are you doing that right now? Remember to use the magnet first, then you're going to push in. Remember, left side next to the pinky, just above the crick. And when you push in, you'll feel how the muscle touches the bone area. It is right there. That is where the point is. Okay. And when she's done, she's going to say done. Okay. Yes, to the left side. Okay. Now, I'm going to have you measure, because we didn't have her measure, but she can go back and go, oh, I felt like this. Now, do you still feel the same? No, just feel mentally, emotionally, physically, because what it was before. It's okay. Go to the left side. It's okay because sometimes, like this, let me show you what she said. She says, "Oh shit, was doing the right side, wrong side." Sometimes your body will know exactly what I'm saying, and sometimes your energies get switched. I know that sounds funky, but inside the auric field, it can be a mirror image. So even though she was supposed to do the left side and she did the right side instead of the left side, but she's coming back to the left side, she's kind of untangling. So there's not really doing it wrong. Um, Sometimes spirit has you do things because you understand your body, but we're going to get you to go to where you need to be. So now you just need to measure. Yes, I'm giving her a little bit extra because this is about death. It's about pain. It's about suffering. Okay. All right. Now, measure it. Just measure it. How do you feel? Measure it. So if you didn't measure before and you didn't have this parameter, you're like, what am I measuring? But if you can say, how did I know I was in pain? Oh my God, yeah, I really, oh wait, how do I feel now? So now you can go back and create the parameter and notice if there's anything different, or do you still feel that way? Because I feel like you want to keep driving yourself down a road of pain. Okay. Deborah Horton, you're close. You're 4, so keep holding that point. When you're doing certain healing tools, you can do certain things to really help yourself in a unique way of being. I will tell you, when I was 50, I broke my 2 fingers at the end when I fell, and I could barely do this, and now I can really hold the rice in my hands, and I don't drop them. But I used to have this particular thing in my hand. You can't hear it. Okay, your heart's racing. But I used to be able to do this, and I could hear like when you crack your fingers, okay? There would always be this 3 little pops that happened in my hand. I got that back. I lost it. And I'm like, oh, my hand is now moving into a new position. So that's good, bad, or indifferent. I'm assuming that it's bad. So now we're going to take and go to the next one with the heart racing. Your thyroid is saying, I'm supposed to be alarmed. Go to your right side, turn it around. Remember, right hand, turn it around. Go right at the bend. Right there's the middle. Put your hand across like this. We're going to interrupt the way the body says I have to be in an alarm system, because this is who you were. This is the old program at about 6.5 years old. And so the body says, I have to relive it. No, we're going to get the wisdom out of it. So right now, we're just going to allow you to do this. And then you're going to push in and you're going to deeply rub 30 times. You guys doing good? You hanging in there? Thank you all for being patient as we work with other people. That's one of my lessons in life, is that can people wait their turns without me going, oh my God, I'm denigrate myself or apologizing, or what I learned here in Australia with these wonderful people over here is that they pay attention to that person in front of you, and they don't go into that, oh my God, I'm doing it crappy, I need to go faster, oh, I have to. No, they honor the person that's with them. And it's like, yeah, I'm willing to heal this one. I'm willing to heal this one. And thyroid, heart, liver. So now we're going to go to the right side. We're going to go to the right liver. Okay. So the right side, you're going to go up, follow your 2 toes up, feel the 2 bones, come slide down, fall into a hole. You don't need to use the magnet, just deeply rub. The chemical peptides need to go. That spot is sore. Thank you so much. So love my babies. I know you love your babies, okay? And when we over-identify with love and loss, then we miss out on the love. Remember when Julie passed and you did a lot of healing? Now you feel her love, and your pain doesn't separate you, okay? You've learned that. Now with your animals, it's like I attach myself to animals because they help me hold my existence. They want you to be able to be independent, and they want that Speaking of animals, you know who's here. Chance is here. He's putting his hands on his knee. Mom doesn't learn that. Mom hasn't learned that. Mom needs to learn that. And I'm like, I know, Chance. She's learning. She's learning. Yeah, she's definitely learning. Okay. All the spots are, yeah, because your energy is stuck. Now, I want you to notice, where's the mental and emotional capacity? Where are you? Are you emotionally wrecked? Oh, he's there. He's worried about you. Luke's worried about you. And if you can't get yourself out of this shift, then they have to gravitate to keep you to stay. And you're like, but I want it taken care of now. I'm on a deadline. I can't self-regulate. I'm stressed. So now that's what I'm hearing. I want you to hold right wrist, second position, deep. Now, as you hold this and you measure that, okay, I'll come back to you. I'm going to go over to, my screenshot. I think it's Jacob. And then I will go ahead and pick up Miss April. So Jacob, yes, I'll come back to you. Just let me know where you're at. You let me know where you're at. Okay, so Jacob, okay. Ooh, it's definitely getting warmer. It's 84 now. Not surprised. It's a good day. So Jacob, got this impending thing. I got to show up somewhere. I got to be somewhere. Do you feel like it's like you think you have to do, but you don't know, and you're just like, wait, what? So you have this impending, and I don't really see a lot of fear. I'm feeling that feel like this invading energy of some lofty person's going to come in and chew your ass out because you didn't do your homework, or you didn't go into job, or you didn't take care of the trash, or you didn't do something. You have this impending energy that is constantly in your space that is saying it's invading. So you're in your aura field, you have energy of invading energy of how fast it came in, how lofty it's come in, it's sitting in your aura. And so there's a part of you that's going, I can feel it. I feel like I'm missing something. I feel like, and they said that it's part of how you constantly felt vulnerable as a child. So they want to address what, like at 7 years old, feeling very vulnerable because you didn't do what you're supposed to do and you're going to get your ass chewed out. And this is how you've memorized your life. So you are, Jacob, going to take your left wrist, go in that first position, push in nice and deep. And you're going to sit there and you're going to feel that vulnerability. You're going to feel that invading energy just sitting there. And I want you to measure those two things. Did you hear it? That energy is sitting there and the invading, how you know you know. Okay, you just really get that out. You got that? Okay. So now, like I said, Jeno, please make sure you're doing left wrist first position nice and deep. And I'm going to take this off and I'm going to see if Miss April is coming. Yeah. Miss April Lynn, and then we'll have Nikki, and then Amy, from what I can see. And I think we have 2 more PIFs that are still available. Oh, sorry about that. Okay. Let's see what we got. Where is everybody? Where is everybody? All right, so while I'm on the wrong screen. Oh, good Lord, I lost it. Hold on, I have lost my screen, people. I don't know where I'm at. Oh, there I am. Sheepers, I got lost. Miss April, just follow the link when you're ready. And Morgan, let's see what she said. I got to go back up. I want to say that I don't know why, but I think you and Amy are the only couple people I feel I can trust to let read me. Well, I can tell you why, because we let you make these choices of discovering yourself and at the same time helping you heal out all of the fears and things that you don't need to be. And we are telling you of the energy field of what we feel for you that's there. And oh, here she is. You might have to turn your volume down a little bit, or maybe I need to. I don't know. You have a fan on or a heater. That might be the heater. There's a lot of static on this end. That's not normal. Oh, I can't hear you. That's why. Let's see if we can get the volume working. Okay, you got to go do your thing. So when you think about yeah, she's got it fixed. She's got it fixed. How nice is that? And her mic now is off. She will go fix her mic a little bit further. Nope, still don't hear you. You just got to turn it on somehow. You got to add it to audio of Stream.
Hello?
Yes, heard you. Wonderful, wonderful. So let me ask you before we begin, how did you learn to trust us or me? Or I know you go to talk to Amy too. So how did you learn to trust us as psychics versus other people?
I just learned by my feeling. I just was like, okay, oh, that doesn't really make sense. Or, well, that makes sense. I want more information. That makes sense. I want more information. Okay, that relates. I want more information.
And then with the healing tools, that must have helped you shift enough that you must have said, wait, something's happening.
Yes, I witnessed and I could see it.
Good. All right. How can I help you?
So, Spirit had you wait because you were giving me a part of my reading.
That's what see, she knew. There's a part of her knows. It's not, she don't have to get mad. It's like wisdom starts dropping. All right. What am I supposed to know about
this? So I put down what Spirit wants. And my body is changing shapes. Need to get bigger pants.
Oh.
So my ego was going, oh my gosh, you're eating everything wrong. You're doing this, doing that. You got to lose weight, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, stop. New job, new energies, my body, the aches and pains and everything. And I was like, so I had that stomach thing. And then you said, the stomach, you're being grounded. And I just said to myself, I feel like I'm floating. Like I'm transitioning. And it's like my body's going, and it's cracking and popping and things, or I'm being disassembled.
Oh, wow. I like how you said that.
Or something like,
yeah.
Trying to think of the wordage. And then you were having rub the small intestine, and I was like, yes. So a thing for me, there was a doctor that read your face.
Okay.
And said, so right here, these lines.
Yeah. Potassium and sodium. Yeah.
When these are prominent, my small intestines is not cooperating with me.
Okay.
So I can look in the mirror. That's a sign for me. So I need to work on my small intestine. Okay. So, and then I did that, and then the liver spot. So it's just that floatiness.
Yep. Now I'm going to show you what you said. Okay. Let me show you what you said. When you look at this is also potassium and sodium. Okay. And resting bitch face. My resting bitch face is actually improved, which tells me, because this is small intestine, I don't feel vulnerable anymore. I don't feel that I have to be under pressure to be that same person anymore. So I know that I can work on the mental and emotional aspects of that. I don't have to try, I just do, and then I can transform. But the physical is this really so important, because one of the things that it tells you, okay, my aches and pains, my things and things like this. It means that as you get older, you have to become more active with this temple. I don't have pain unless I'm not moving. So I get on the roller and I roll a few times, and then I deliberately put my hands up and then move my hips to the side, and then all of a sudden everything releases. Now what happens for me, it cascades and I start to have no pain. Okay, so the lymphatics and the fascia need you to engage with the physical more. So I started another 365 where every day I'm doing a repetitive thing for my core. And I've actually started to feel the improvement. And it's like, oh, cool. But it's engaging consistently with the physical form, because I know I want to reach 100 and I would like to be muscly. Why? That's not a wish and oughta, coulda, woulda, hoped. It is action, 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 consistency. Just small, minute things can turn into habits. So you have asked, even though you're physically working your ass off doing this and that, the body is still saying, I need you. So when you go for a walk, it takes and helps you ground, and it shifts your chemical peptides, and it causes you not to be stressed. When you go and drop your head in a cold water, it takes your nervous system out of a panic mode. So the body's asking you, look, I'm like an animal. I need to be petted. I need to take a shower. I need to eat. I need attention. I need comfort. I need safety, security, stability, sanity, serenity, and space, that freedom. So your body is saying, I need you to pay attention to me instead of work, my husband, my kitty cat, all that. The body says, well, I want some attention too. So this is then where you got to step up. Okay. If your small intestine is doing this and you don't have a lot of mental and emotional, but your potassium, and sodium, the electrolytes, which you can't find out of water really anymore, or you can't really find it out of the soil anymore, and you have to begin to add it now. But when you add it, you got to make sure it's not with fructose or corn syrup or any of that. You got to have a different type of sweetener. And if you can't do stevia, there's always xylitol. Those are better, suited for you. So there is all of these different brands that can help by people that have really consciously have chosen to say, this is a good product. No, this is a good product because we didn't put all of that nasty stuff in there. We can, because marketers know how to market and don't tell you about those other issues. Okay. Does this make sense so far?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Totally agree.
So you have learned to grow mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Now the physical body is saying, you forgot me. Well,
Yes.
that's where we're doing the same shit. Oh, man. Well, so physically, the way that my body is saying, I'm part of my theme is that I have to remember to include my physical form if I'm going to live to 100, or if I'm going to live. So these programs that I haven't learned that keep repeating that causes me to stay stumped is I don't even remember I have a body, but I have to be consistent. So now I need discipline, not, oh, I'm a bad girl. It is, I'm going to put this down as routine, not routine of having to eat chips, not the routine that I'm going to be scared, not the routine is that I love you. And this is what we're going to do. Okay, it's not yes, but it's yes, and we're going to do this. And it is shifting that mindset. It is doing all of this stuff. So when you look at your body and the body's giving you all the signs. So let's look at this. We know that your body started to gain weight. That means your body is not digesting the same way. Most of the time, people don't understand gut health. And that is the microbiome, which means you need certain fibers. But most of the fibers you get now from foods is poisoned. So you really need to go get some other type of supplement, maybe. Remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. So there's like gut recovery, other little places that do things that put in those fibers, as well as the probiotics, so that the gut can feel like it's really being taken care of. Small intestine really needs you, so it can not malabsorb, but to absorb all of the good stuff that's happening. Now I look at your body and say, what is the pattern Oh, I forgot to set the timer. Or not timer. The mic. Well, yeah, it is. I guess that's what I call it. But normally I have this thing here. I don't know what I did with it. But anyway, that's fine. I'm looking. Ready? Here, let's hear your pattern. Your body went in and reshaped you to gain weight. And I'll say what started my large intestine and my liver. My large intestine says I have territorial issues. My liver says I'm going to have to behave a certain way. But on a large intestine thing, the microbiome is off. So you're going to have to decide to put more fiber or put more probiotics, but you may have to increase the way your output is. Okay, so there's something called something to do with magnesium something. I can't remember what it's called. Colon, it's not colon blow, colon something, colon cleanse, that's what it is. And it starts to break the fat or the pico matter and break it down into a liquid form so that it can start cleaning out those areas that need to be cleaned out. You with me so far?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The liver is saying that I'm not sure how to process certain emotions, certain chemicals, certain things anymore. So now they're showing me it's the way you focus. You have to go out in that world out there and you have to be around people. And without it, that's like your news. It's like turning on and there's the news. And the news isn't always good. And so then your body says, oh, we start walking around with this trauma or this drama that's not ours. So we have to start building up your aura so that you can go, okay, I got to go out there. And that means that you are starting to realize that you got to pay attention to why do I keep repeating this? And there's something about diminishing yourself. Just out of habit, just out of, from what I can feel, just out of plain habit. And you absorb a lot of awkward and timidness from people. And I said absorb. Without knowing it, that part of your sclera field is that when people put that into your space, you're supposed to show up as taking the blame. Or you're supposed to show up as blaming. So whatever, blame is supposed to be there. So people are throwing this shit around and you're like this little magnet that says, oh, I still have this program that I'm supposed to take that in and absorb it. So you're going to make sure you start working on your triple warmer R3S. But you're going to have to consciously become aware when the physical body goes, oh, hell no, and starts to protect itself. Because that means that the energy aura is not really there protecting you. So we haven't shifted your consciousness enough to where you can go, oh, I'm not doing that. Well, I don't need to react that way. What? Okay, we're going to get rid of this program. So R3S, because that energy in your sclera field is so super strong. So when you share that field and when that energy's there, your body goes, I got to be this. I don't want to be. And then it starts to change into a particular shape. Okay. And you have this tendency to your attraction factor it pulls in a very particular personality. No matter where you're at, you got to see it at least a little bit. And this particular personality, it's something to do with blaming. There's just the way they communicate about their world, or they're just saying, oh, you know what? You just can't do the job, or any of it.
So one of the new coworkers that I was training beside. So the store closes at 6. People were still back there purchasing things before they came to the register. Mm-hmm. And she was like, those dang jack wagons.
Oh, okay. Like, see, it's a blame.
And it's like people can go into a store and buy something.
Right.
You know?
It doesn't make logical sense to you of why they have to act that way.
Yeah.
But they blamed. And what did it do? It absorbed into your aura, and you're like, oh, God, I got another coworker like that. Oh, shit. Here we go again. And the body goes, okay, I know how to do this. Let's expand. And you're like, no. Okay. So, again, when you have to, that's part of your thing. So it drops the beat. This is how you're supposed to show up. To break this, we got to get you to stop being that identity. I have to be my memorized identity. And if nobody's doing it, if I'm not doing it to myself, then somebody's got to do it. And this is where I want you to start to remove it from the heart, L1D. You got it? Because it's not necessarily something you have to have, but it has to show up because it is in your shared field. Okay, so you're not just healing here, you're healing that particular way that the aura is to magnetically and electricity wise to push and pull. Remember, emotions are magnetic and thoughts are electrical. And so a program's going off and your body is saying, I have to, because, well, we need to evolve out of it. And you're consciously going, oh, what did I miss? Well, the key thing is about blame. So you're not just going to heal. You're going to sit and go, there it is. There it is. Not to say, oh, I'm going to label that on you. It is, I recognize that I have to have this code in my ego, and I have to keep projecting it because that's just, why do I need that? So again, what is your definition? Look it up. What does blame feel like? What is feel like to give blame? Notice, go do some recon work, because once you start to see it, and you're not losing power, but you're seeing it, and I'm looking at another person about how they react and like, ooh, that's how you're supposed to communicate. And you're like, oh, hell no. Okay, I'm not doing that. You are like, but I'm still projecting it out. Not in the first ring, not in the second ring, really. It's just, this is what social interaction is supposed to be. So this is social intelligence now. This isn't even about my personal stuff. It's social intelligence. Oh, but do I want to show up that way? Do I need to do this? And it is no, because it's this or better. And you're like, yeah, they can do it, but I don't have to see it. So there's something program about thinking and feeling over and over again that makes you keep projecting that story out. And I'm going to tell you, you're going to need to do R2S, which is the stomach, about being relevant. Am I relevant? Or is this relevant? It's not even relevant. Why are you talking about it? So again, there's these form of blaming and stuff like this. But when you hear it, your body, it's like you jump out of your body just a little. So are you in your body? No. Okay, so is she willing to receive her? Okay, so can we do it now? No. Fudge. Is there anything SP? No, she needs, okay, so this is intentional. So you are meant to be not completely out, but just enough off the ground.
Yeah, that's what I kind of had. Before you can build something new, you got to destroy the platform over here.
Yep.
And then that's why I said I'm like restructuring.
You are, because you're building a new model, but you need to understand what that new model looks like. Go out and look for the catalogs of life. Go out and see, like, let's say you're going to use me for an example. How would Brenda respond? You got to see something in tribe and you're like, oh, it's a whole story. Hold on. And what was your takeaway? How do you do things? What do you do? Okay, I need to notice if I'm there and I need to heal myself out. You go into different things. Because it's in the wisdom that when you remove that emotion and that wisdom's there, you show up. Because you can look and go, oh, I want to be like that, but I just can't get there. Well, heal out that emotion, create the wisdom, and then all of a sudden you'll start to go into your new designed, remodeled, new world that you've created. You don't even have to remodel. You're just creating a whole new world and just going to, make that one obsolete. You're just like, yeah, I'm going to move over here now that it's built. Okay. So that's where you're going.
Yes.
All right.
I feel that.
All right. So you've got points to heal. I asked if there's anything else. They go, no, she's now knows the list of homework she needs, or soul work that you need to work on. Okay.
Yes.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
I could see, I knew that something was changing. So the awareness is there.
I love it.
If my old program, I would have been like crying, going, oh my gosh, I gained weight. And then, but now I'm not.
Right. Good. I'm so happy that you guys heard her say that. She was able to compare. She was able to look at it. Now, I'm going to tell you that we carry up to around 15 pounds of poo inside of us, and sometimes the food just doesn't digest. So you may want to do some of that colon cleanse just to break down some of the stuff and put more fiber
I
in.
go see my chiropractor in the morning, so I have
Excellent.
supplements and stuff from him. So
Good, because sometimes we just need to move out, because anywhere from 3 to 5 pounds can be just from food that is too heavy, we ate it too late at night, or it's just, or whatever it is. So just be mindful of that. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. I love talking to you. We'll have to talk to you later.
Thank you.
And thank you for everything you do. All right. Bye, hon. Okay. So, Osika, are you still here? Are you be holding points? How are you doing? Deborah, are you still here? Because I look like you're looking a lot better. Now you just have to start practicing to be more, present. What does it mean? Go study, go find out. It was a good thing, I think, on Netflix that talked about it as well. Let's see where we're at. Okay. I'm going to go and get, I got to see what's happening here. Okay. Before I bring Nikki on, I've got to, okay, holding points, but feel the stomach is off. All right. So as you heal, you will see stages, especially physical. Now, when I ask about the stomach, it is about how you resonate with being conditioned, about how you feel that you can't stomach this, I can't go through this, I don't want to go through this, why the hell do I got to constantly go through this every time? You're going to do L2D. So slip over to left wrist, second position, deep, and focus on what it is that I have said, okay? And hi, Nikki. I don't know if you're still here, Nikki Lloyd. But I'm going to grab the link and make sure she has it before I go. So how do you invite? Here we go. And I don't know what that was. Oh, email. That's what that is. Let's see. Can we find our Nikki? There she is. Oops, I'll have to make sure I read that. All right, I'm going to send that off. I am going to, I have to go to the little girl's room real quick, and I was going to say if Nikki could tell, kind of witness if she wants to witness, if she doesn't have to. Otherwise, I can just run and come back and leave all my screens blank. I can usually move pretty fast. We'll see how we go. Yes. Okay, so it made sense to Jennifer, I think, and she's going to do that. See, right there. And all I'm going to say is, Miss Amy, I want you to do L2D. Okay? I want you to do L2D. So I'm going to race as fast as I can. Oops. I'll be right back. Okay? Got to go the long way around. Alrighty. Oh, wonderful. Hold on. Here we go. I gotta add.
Hello.
Hi, honey. How are you?
Am I echoing?
Yeah, it's a little loud. Mom, I'm gonna turn it down. I don't know if that gonna bother
Do
anybody.
I sound better?
All right, I turned it down. Okay.
Okay.
Hi, how are
I
you?
decided to come on because, I sort of like, I have to come on because I think you need to know this. I think like we're on today's like you're triggering some flares in us.
Oh, Oh.
And you don't know it because if I didn't share, you wouldn't know that I also had an experience with Linda prior to Linda. But if Linda's here, Linda, would you have kept it a secret if you weren't live? Your experience of hearing the birds? Because so I was watching and I felt off and I felt like I had to do Wayne Cook. So I said, let me do Wayne Cook while I'm watching the show. So when I do Wayne Cook, I like to close my eyes. So I was just doing Wayne Cook. I closed my eyes and I saw you in my mind's eye. And I saw you rocking in your chair, wearing exactly what you're wearing, like as if I was watching the show. That's how clear this was. And immediately I opened my eyes because I felt ashamed that I saw you. I was like, I feel ashamed. I feel like I'm invading Brenda's space or something. I don't know what I'm doing. I had no intention I wasn't thinking about you, nothing. Okay. So I hear these thoughts coming in and then I intercept the thoughts, cancel, clear, delete. I'm really running with, I'm disgusting. I'm a pervert. I mean, all the, I'm icky. And then I'm like, wait. And I hear, no, what did that represent to you when you saw Brenda? And I said, it represents an alarm state. She was rocking in her chair. And ding, 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 the alarms start going off. Okay. So then I went to freeze because I had seen and connected its alarm state. And then an alarm started going off. And I was like, I froze and I did the same face that Linda did. Something just happened, like psychically or clairwise, or what is this? I don't know. I feel weird. I can't tell anybody about this. I'm going to be weird. Because I had gotten over the icky part and I was like, no, it just represents something for me. And then it was almost like I knew this was going to happen prior, but it still represents me. And then I just started holding R3S right away. I went into this panic of I got to do this by myself. I'm going to have to keep this a secret that I had this experience. And so then I held R3S. I started feeling like I wanted to check myself out. I went into SP to get myself back so I wouldn't check out. And then I went into R2S. And I was like, and then Linda comes on. And I was like, oh, Linda, it looks like you have the same picture as me. And then I see Linda's face again. Yeah, did the same thing. And I'm like, I was so going to keep it a secret. But I was like, you know what? We're doing something here. And I went into tons of different programs.
Yep.
When this happened to me.
All right. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So I got to experience this when I was 16. I experienced it before, but I didn't really remember. It had to have a bitch slap so I remember. And my ego mindset, my human self, was the one that was trying to define it. But it is breaking up with all the relationships and personalities and the scalar field of relationships and that social intelligence of saying, I don't want to be connected to that collective. But when I was 16, I had no idea what it was. And so I had no idea how and what it did. It took me backwards, but it didn't do it to hurt me. It was, I had to understand the importance of who I am today by having that experience. And I had to hear all the collective. So I saw seconds before it happened what I was going to say to this person, what they were going to say to me, how the other person was going to show up, how they were going to take off in the car, how I know my boyfriend's going to die. I know all of this is going to happen. And it was like, it was not even a breath. I didn't even get a chance to, because there was no concept of time. It was just, if I were going to try to measure it, it was just, I didn't even get a chance to inhale. It was like, it was, and then it unfolded. and I'm living in this slow-mo. My brain's like rejecting, but my spirit part's going, look, it's unfolding. And all when I got done with it, I saw exactly where I walked. The same sounds, the same tones, the same inflections. I got to see all these frequencies. I was going in slow-mo, even though I wasn't. I got to experience myself. And then when I got up to the room, put up the police scanner and looked in that direction, I said, 5, 4, 3, there it is. There it is. I knew. When I got done, it's like, what the hell did Spirit tell me that? And I blamed Spirit because that was my collective thinking, it's God's fault. Why did it happen? And yeah, no, I've learned since then. And so we don't have to go through how everybody was told to shame, condemn, and all of this. If the yin is going to awaken and rise is the figure eight, the other end of that figure eight, when action and bringing ideas in and action and creating reality is supposed to be in harmony, we have got to stop being so human. So when you started to activate that RAS about remote viewing, and a part of you just started doing it, you're like, I'm a bad girl. You went through all the collectives. You didn't understand it. Your brain's like, reject, alarm, reject. Oh, you right and wrong. Oh, Jesus. And you're supposed to measure all that. But it's safe to tell me because I'll tell you some interesting experiences.
Right. I was going to, and that's why I just sent the chat and I said, I'll message Brenda later. I already told her about the clairaudience. I mean, just things are happening.
So the reason we shut down these gifts is because our ego goes, what the hell's that? Okay. We start arguing. I had shut it down. I told Spirit, F off. I don't want this anymore. And it wasn't until 2 years later that it had gone through that whole thing. And my spirit goes, oh no, you need to have it back on. Oh, I need it. Oh my God. And then I'm begging for it. Now I can't remember how I used it. Because I slammed that door, man. I willed it shut. I made it disappear that there was never a door. So I had to, I ignored it because all this other gifts are there. And they're like, yeah, you don't exist. You don't exist. So I kept connecting to the collective that says, you have to live this way. You have to be this way. And then it was like, oh, hell no. So I just started going down a road that was less traveled, but it is well worn because the light, it's lit. It is freaking lit.
Yes.
And it feeds you. It helps you. It's just that we don't have to, we're taking down that old model and breaking it down. Okay, so this is why every time you switched, you could see all of these old structures. You don't have to. And that's the beauty of how you and Linda and everybody else here is waking up, is going, I don't have to believe my own BS. I mean, if I keep asking Amy, what is the main thing you learned? She goes, I know it sounds redundant, but it's not to believe my own BS, my own belief systems, because this just, they make up BSs, the bullshitters. So she's always going, oh, there it is again. And she looks at it and she's like, I don't have to believe you because that's not me. So what you were going through was that you had to bring up all those emotions so you can get your life force off it. What I would tell you is that part of you needs to understand this is a lot of territorial issues. We're going to go back to one of your main themes because of where you were born, where you're living. There's a lot of a big theme about territory. Okay. And so this territory is in the sense of spiritual realm. It is when you go in with the wrong intention. So years ago, I seen these 3 people, and I think they were in their teens or something like this. And one was so proud that they can invade and read other people's thoughts. I mean, yeah, man. And then to translate it, which is what they didn't understand, would translate it in such a way that it would incite in suggestions to the point that even if that person wasn't there, they will be there. And I'm looking at that going, whoa. And I'm watching how they're going to use these gifts. Like I had somebody in my class and they were learning about this success hope therapy tool, and they used it as a weapon. I said, that's not what it was designed for. I says, but I see I see. What do we do on this planet? This is the level of consciousness. We take something great like free energy and turn it into a freaking bomb. Why? Because it's that level of consciousness. We can, and we need to be proud of it.
Definitely has been bringing in like different, like with this remote viewing stuff. I watched this, it's like 6 hours, this video with this interview with this guy. So I watched like 3 hours of it, and the perspective from like the government, right? Because he worked for the government and he was trained and all that. So, they have a way other way of using psychic abilities as a weapon.
Yes.
So I've been getting that perspective, but then I've been getting flooded with how you see remote viewers finding missing people.
Right. So now you're looking at the other side of the infinity loop. And it is the meeting in between. So the wisdom is what's going to create this bridge that you don't have to live in one extreme for the other. Remote viewing, to me, it is of everything. It's about all of those sensory systems, and all 8 of them that have everything to do with whether you do well or not. Now, I'm just trained to do this, so I can go in and look at a remote view aspect of someone's home as if I'm standing there. But it's not about invading. I've seen people use it the wrong way, and some people even fake being remote viewers and take and I don't know what that is in the background, but I'll I see these lines. I see these lines. I'm looking at your shutters or whatever it is there. And so they will take and they'll memorize things, and then they'll talk to somebody later. They'll talk to you later, and then they'll go, oh, hold on, I'm doing this remote viewing. Hold on. And they'll use it, but it's for their advantage. It has nothing to do with you. They made it about themselves. And you got to decide what kind of person you want to be. Like, there was one tool in Amadeus Energies was so that you could visit your friends. You can visit, you can astral travel, you can literally bilocate if you choose to be really good enough, like the masters of, in the past. But I'm like, I don't like it because somebody was pissed at me because they were so much an ego, but they had this gift and I could feel them sitting in my room with me. And I'm like, you have to learn to put up a mirror. So what happens is that what they'll see is the reflection of something that's not real, but what you can put out there so that what they get stuck seeing. Do you understand? I don't want to give too much information. But the point is that you don't have to mem your space, because people go into fear. Oh my God. We get influenced by people's thoughts all the time, but you have to build that orb up and that mirror on the outside of it so that you do not have to be seen. You literally don't. But you need to be able to take that cloak off when you need to, because if you're driving down the road like I did, I'm like, why is everybody trying to hit me? Oh, shit. Yes, cloak off. Cloak off. I'm here. Let me in my lane. Okay. And then all of a sudden it's like everybody's like, where'd she come from? Intention is everything. Good Lord, it is. So our imagination, everything is super and duper important about how we're functioning. So as this gravitational pull starts to change your level of consciousness, your gifts are going to start popping in, and your ego mindset, if your survival mindset, if you haven't really taken care of those, it's going to look at and go, oh my God, I had to reject it. Oh my God, this is awful. Oh my God, I have to be afraid. Kill it first, maybe ask questions later, but it's like, threat's gone. But there is really no enemy.
I felt it all in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, but there really is no enemy. Okay, it's when the left brain tries to see the right brain, and the right brain gives it something, and the left brain goes, oh my God, fear. The right brain's going, dude, and then shut it down. But if you can create that harmony in the brain, you will then go, oh, so you'll take, so instead of rejecting, you'll take and you'll ask Spirit to give it with you with grace and ease. You'll start to see what you didn't know was there, but you don't have to be afraid of it. Because when you start to see the emotions, the feelings, the thought processing, the structure, you'll start seeing like a scale. Yeah, love and above. I don't need to see it as fear. I can see it as love and above. I don't even have to track that in anymore. So you change the attraction factor. So your inner world, you're changing it. So one of the things that I look at for you is that we seem to be in a lot of relation of mirroring. So I wonder if this is happening to you. I'm just going to throw it out there. I have noticed for 2 days now, a noise will happen and I'll be startled. And then I'll look at myself,
Oh.
why are you freaking startled? Okay. Something fell on the floor. I heard a noise. And I'm like, what's this whole thing with the face and everything? Why, body, are you doing that?
I go, yeah, and it's like, with this auditory their audience stuff in the beginning of the week, hearing those damn voices, I was like,
yeah,
covers over my head.
Right. And so we're bringing the survival mindset and all of that instead of our spirit intuition. We're using our ego intuition. But I was just my body though. I was my body. I'm like, so you so programmed to jump? What's going on? And what I started to notice is that, life's a spiral, energy's all hit. Life is a blanket. Everything exists in almost the same space at all the same time at different levels. But sometimes when I have this old program, my mask and my littles are like, I'm supposed to come in. No, this is actually how deep it is that goes back to, from what I can feel, past life. It doesn't necessarily know. So this is where your body is saying, how do I know peace? And how do I know that peace is gone? Okay. So it's memorized itself. I'm not safe. Now I know damn well I'm safe. Now see what was interesting.
I felt like I was not safe because I was by myself actually, which is weird.
I
love being alone. But I was like, no, I don't want to be alone right now.
Let me ask you a question. How many times, see, this is your little that says I'm supposed to be afraid of out there. Did you watch any movies where, that if you hear voices, something's wrong?
Well, my mom talks to herself.
Okay,
so,
very good.
To always hear her talking to herself, having conversations in her head.
Okay, that's very good. So notice how you felt and notice this. How did you judge that moment? How did you cope, handle, deal with that moment?
I think my mom's crazy.
Right.
Or back then would think she was crazy and that, she had, and as I went on a quest of psychology, I was like, oh, my mom's like mentally ill. And then the family said, oh, your mom was diagnosed with schizophrenia.
Aha.
So this is where I said, I don't want to be alone. But then at the same time, I got to keep this a secret because I'm going to be weird and I'm going to be crazy and they're going to say I'm
very good. This is why they're telling me to tell you to make sure you do R2D because your piece is gone because your parameter is so different than my parameter. Okay. I also feel like there's a history of like, you can look in through the collectives that a woman acts a certain way, you throw her in an insane asylum. Okay. And I feel like the reason you have to keep it under guard or under being quiet is because you also don't want to be harmed. You don't want others to think of you that way. You know that you don't want to become that. There is a sense of fear that goes along with that. Okay. And again, it's not the genetics, it's the environment that would cause a person to go into that to which they're observing. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? This guy that I shared with you, as I was watching his 6-hour interview, his sister had schizophrenia. And so as a teenager, they made her give up a child and she went, straight into schizophrenic way of being. It was trauma that activated it.
Right. That makes sense because it's unresolved trauma. But my body just went into a coughing attack and like as if something was in my throat. Okay. I know we're working on the 5th chakra right now. Okay. It's the back of it is your will to believe lies. Your own belief systems, other people's beliefs about their life that's what I'm supposed to believe about my life. No, that's their life. Or people will say, no, I got the right way. You're doing it the wrong way. And it's like, so there's a lie. Or people just straight out lie. Or we lie to ourselves
There's liars in that family. Like There's a lot of lying in my family.
Right. And so then we lie to ourselves. Well, I'm not pretty.
Mhm.
Well, I can't really admit I'm pretty, or I can't, or whatever it is. We lie to ourselves. So the thing is that we live in ego more here than we live in our spirit, which is our expression of our truth. But we don't understand that we have choices. So when we bring up the past based on emotion, we make it pop, we go into one of these choices. Okay. The more you heal, the more you're going to take your power off that lie and bring it more into, it's not about a fight or an activist. It is, I'm just going to be me, whether I express myself one way or the other without any shame, however this looks. So what I'm looking for you is that one, R2D, is that your piece is gone because it's part of your past of how you memorized it. But it's also how the collective is, but it's also how, oh my God, I don't want that. So it's a knot. There's a great big energy of the knot. And that's where I'm going to tell you need to pull it out of your small intestine. So it's L1S. Okay. Because it's like you're already vulnerable before it happened. And then you think it's going to happen. And so there's a fear of that it's going to happen. This is part of a declaration, which you got to be very careful of. Because when we declare, oh my God, I want that to happen to me, not just a knot. It is, oh, it's happening to me right now. Okay. And if not, you'll do like I did with the declaration when I said, when I have kids someday, they're not going to have to cross the road or have to be caught up in this snow thing. And I'm standing in my kitchen. My kids are out there waiting for the bus. And I realized I had put into the future from my child part a great declaration. And my kids snowplow came in, plowed that out, backed out, went the other way. The bus comes in, turns around, picks up my kids never have to worry about what I did. And that's a good declaration. But there are declarations. Oh my God, I've seen this human papilloma virus on people, and it creates warts all over. And oh my God. And so now all of a sudden my body's trying to form these things. And I'm like, yeah, no. I remember I had to heal the fear off. I had to heal those pictures out. I had to change how my 8 sensory perceptions were saying yes and no to it. Okay. So you got to make sure when you look at that L1S, it's you then are forced to give up your expectation because that's real, but it's not really real because it hasn't come into play, but in your mind, it's already done. And I have to give up my expectations. I'm stuck with this. Because it's the environment that changes the DNA, not your DNA that tells you.
Got it.
Okay. So it means genetically. So you're healing everything off. You're going to be doing this, and I'm proud of you. Thank you so much. I gave you extra time. Don't matter. I'm enjoying myself like hell.
I'll send another payment.
Oh, no. You don't have to. You don't have to. But
well, thank you so much.
But
I don't know what we're doing. This is getting so interesting.
Oh,
though.
Yeah, because that month. Okay, what we're doing, just so people get
I can't
this.
Wait to see the other people who come on to see if anything's going on.
Well, here's the thing that it's that 100 monkey theory. It's finally happening. The unfoldment.
Yeah.
People are going to be in hell, and other people are going to go, whoa, these gifts are so amazing. And how did I know that? And there's got to be lots of in between. But now it is starting to lift. It's like it's happening. Some people are just going to happen. They're not going to. They're just going to still be in a program, but that's okay. But at least they'll be with us. All right.
Bye, guys.
I love you very
so
much, and you are welcome. All right, bye, hon.
Bye.
See, we can do this. We can do this, people. We can do this. Let me get caught up. And is there anybody else here that hasn't had a reading before? I can give you a free reading. If you have here and you never got or you've gotten a reading, but we have 2 piffs up for grabs. And Jennifer Sika, if you're here, give me a report. And otherwise, I'm going to go get Ames. It's been a very interesting day. I just know that I have to be done before 3 o'clock before my appointment so I can get this figured out. Where's my invite? There it is. Double checking for everybody here. Let's look. Got a beautiful breeze sounding behind us right now. It is very beautiful. How we doing? Just looking at my screens. Yes, I'm okay. So let me just let me get here. Jennifer says, Yes, I am here and feeling much, much better. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to just look at this energy field one more time. And as we're looking at it, you're going to start noticing that you can see the spirit energy of chance, right? Right? It's like a beam of light from what I can see, and it's like a gold and silver light. And it is sitting there. And they said for you to really help is that you have to allow yourself to notice that there's a hidden thing that you suppressed so long ago. And it's trying to come to the surface so you can heal it out. Feel it to heal it out. And they said when you allow yourself to say, I'm stuck in self-preservation, and look that word up, self-preservation, and notice how the body and the brain does not need to go into I am not safe, I am not safe, I am not safe. And the self-preservation is you'll do anything, even some stuff you didn't think you'd ever have to do. Yes, here, okay. So then you are going to make sure you start to do right wrist, third position, nice and deep. So R3D, finish that off because you're finally ready. Hashtag feel it to heal it. Okay. All right, go heal, go heal. I'm going to bring in Miss Ames. There she is. Hi, darling. How are you?
I am good. How about you?
Good. Let me just turn this up so I can hear you a little bit. Talk again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, much better, much better. Hopefully other people still can hear you as well. Hi.
What an interesting week.
Okay, so let's kick her off.
Monday night in tribal, there were triggers galore and healed out different aspects of, what's the word? That's what they do. Deficiency.
Oh yeah, that darn word, man. He tries to hide on you.
It tries to hide, but I keep finding it. And when I was doing my show today, somebody asked me how I knew that I had abilities. And so I told him. I told him my whole story, that it started 30 years ago when I survived ovarian cancer and went through the whole thing, and I could feel his jaw just drop open, going, wow. Because I went through, like, how I finally met you and became the guinea pig.
Yeah. And I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Just dig in.
Oh, just dig in. Okay.
Dig in.
So before we go any further, it's so weird because I like this format better, but I don't at some times. So I'm just going to say this.
Cat, I can't.
Did you feel any of those? Oh, what happened? I didn't remove her. Cat must have hit the button. Oops. Okay. She'll be back in a minute. I hope she didn't lose electricity. Hopefully he didn't shut it down all the way. We'll find out because she'll be back in just a moment. Oh, here she comes. Here she comes. Here she is. Hi.
That was weird.
Oh, what happened?
I clicked to find the chat because I had gone full screen.
Oh, gotcha.
And
I thought maybe a cat came up and touched the button on you.
she's trying.
She's trying.
She's trying.
Oh,
So
look
I
at you're making Jennifer happy. Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
So whatever you wrote disappeared.
Okay, so you cannot see that on your phone. Oh, you really don't want to see that, do you?
Oh, you sent it that way.
Yeah, go look at your messenger.
Ah, okay.
Yes or no?
No, not really.
Okay, let me tell you what you can't see. You're in that unconscious, incompetent state.
I see it. I see it.
There was a split-second phobia that reared its head. And as that happened, you were like, so what I need you to hold, though, is L2D. I want you to just do L2D. Okay, we'll just do that. The reason why is the split-second phobia appeared, but the phobia is not in the correct place. It is in your liver. As, oh my God, how freaking dare they? Okay, so you're revisiting what happened a few years ago.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Okay.
Oh my God, yes, I totally understand it now.
All right, so whatever you can share, you can share. So, but when this comes up, now the reason we're keeping it so it's not that it's hush hush, it's that this is her privacy. And, there are certain things she can address and heal, but sometimes we don't need to bring up certain things. It's nothing bad, it's just who she is. But feel the phobia. Think of the fear. This is where it had hit you, OMG, so freaking fast and hard that every time you see this trigger that comes up, and I feel that it's when your parents gave their attention to another little girl when you're around 4 years old. It's like, let's say you shared a birthday party or you shared something or grandma's, whatever. The point is that how dare the thing that's designed for me be given to somebody else? But at the same time, it's like you confused you when you got a present, you wanted to give it to your brother, but yet they told you, or you couldn't. So you've got all of lots of these little things that are kicking up that have to do with you betrayed me. Or you took it. It's like when you think of the movies that they always write about how it's got to be the woman's fault when it's really the man that was doing the cheating. Okay, you got to blame the woman. Not necessarily. But it is, there's this, but it's the act of the person, not, like, I feel like they intentionally did this to teach you a lesson, whereas everything looks like everything. The engram is everything looks like everything. Okay, which means you did that to hurt me. It's like when you said my full name, my last name I had, you did it intentionally because you were very vulnerable and in pain. And I thought, wow, she's going through something. But you did it in a certain way. Now, people did that to you, but it was to teach you a lesson. There's a big difference. One is about pulling away because I can't have them in my space. Another one is I'm going to teach you a lesson because you need to change your behavior, young lady. It's not correct. And then there are some people that do it innocently, that they have enough to give to everybody, but you're like, no, that representation is mine.
Makes sense.
But notice how you have to attach yourself to the thing that you think you're losing. Now we're going to switch this phobia to L3D. What did I do wrong? They're giving it to somebody else. Now you totally feel weak. You're not enough. Something's wrong. So that lower part of you is interpreting it in a unique, twisted, scared way. That it literally wants to go into self-preservation and kick ass.
Yeah. Earlier, I was like, I can't say what I thought.
Right, but what you thought was very negative. What you thought was very much, they're the enemy. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And that you feel your territory was taken. They crossed your territory. How dare you compete with me? How dare you? And I feel like you had these kids in school that this was already taken. Why are you trying to take it? It is how you can't get past that 13-year-old self, but your younger self really had a hold of it. It's like when I was 13 and I'm sitting at the table with all of the adult women and we're all having a conversation and I thought about every angle and I'm going to give my opinion and then we'll be done talking about it. I didn't know the art of conversation or the continuation of ideas or feedback or whatever. Okay, the art of debate. No, it was I hit all the points, I said it, and then when I was done, I was crushed at 13 because there was crickets. Nobody talked about it. Nobody gave me praise. Nobody did this and that. Remember, 13 is a very crucial time period, 13 and 15, that you just come online and you're taking all of the stuff you've done. You are definitely in an unconscious, incompetent state, and you don't have all of the things you need to know, skills or hidden things that you didn't know. And so all I know is I interpreted it, and my heart was crushed that they gave me crickets, and then they continued to talk about it. And then I went right into my ego self, and I said, they're ignoring me. I am not important. I'm going to have to behave this way. I hate this. This is where a lot of our programs that we have as an adult need to be fixed and corrected because we don't need this. So at 13, you came online and you were like, I'm going to make you feel like shit because you made me feel like shit. So this is a lot of, what do you call it, tit for tat?
Yeah.
Because part of you didn't understand the new information you need to work with. Okay, you didn't learn it as a child. You only learned shit as a child. So when you didn't learn this, so now we have to get our feet wet and our toes dipped in the water, and we don't want to because we don't want to see what's unconscious and incompetent. We don't want to do that next stage of exposing it and learning it and experiencing it. We don't want to go into the next stage after that where we're starting to create a program. Well, we do it all the time with everything we do, but this knowledge of awakening, we just want to stay in our pain and stay in that suffering and stay in how we know it. Don't change it, don't change it, don't change it. This is how we identified ourselves. This is how we attach ourselves. So when the knee-jerk reaction pops up, or that habit, or that whatever pops up, that auto program pops up, and you guys aren't awake to see it, that thing's going to take you down like a heat-seeking missile. And then you are going to become a heat-seeking missile, and you will use love as a weapon. And you will
I
begin.
did catch it when it popped up to me. I did catch it.
But you were aware, right? You were just like, ooh.
Yeah, it was like,
I
how
decided,
old am I?
yeah, good. Asking the question, how old am I? What did you get?
4.
Okay. And you felt very deficient that you had to defend your world. You felt less than whole. You're saying, I'm not already whole. I'm half, and I need that to make me whole. And I can't tell you that if you give it away. So how you identify to yourself. And so all you know is that you feel deficient. This is what they say. You become, how does that, wait, I got to figure out how that goes. You become the world. Okay, instead of just being in the world. So now you said, I am nothing without this. So it owns you. So if it disappeared, your whole identity would be crushed because you don't know how to transform into using your spirit side of you going, oh, well, I can create more. I need to have closure to the thing that I feel attached to. Close that down, close that timeline down, close that, get that energy off, and to put it into recreating something new. It's this or better.
Absolutely.
But that program that is hidden when it's connected to see, your phobia now just moved out of finally. Jesus, that energy finally started to move out. Okay, so now you're going to have to go L3D because as a child, you identified yourself as an object. I am a spare part. Now, if you've never watched the movie that, like, The Sister's Keeper, where that she was only reason that this person was born was that she had the body parts for the sick sister. Now the child that's born that's healthy, they can't do sports, they can't do this, they can't hurt. They got to keep all of this preserved, the spare, to keep the other one alive. What's that?
I've seen that movie.
Okay, and it's heart crushing. But have you ever been where, like, when you think of Prince Harry and Prince William, he's a spare. Prince Harry is a spare. So he would have been treated a certain way. You could never be you. You could never have a life. Now, hence, you finally admitted, I don't know if you're willing to talk about it out loud, but that's your choice, but you were adopted.
Uh-huh.
You know where I'm going. Yes or no? You don't have to.
Yes.
Go ahead.
My parents had a daughter back in 1950.
There you go. Now hold L2D as you're telling the story. Go ahead.
And they lost her in, I want to say, 59.
Okay.
In a freak car accident. And then they had my two brothers. I think they had a miscarriage between the two boys. And then 16 years later, they got me.
That's a long time later. Okay. Then they got you.
And I was a replacement for
Not a
the
spare,
daughter,
the replacement.
for the daughter that they lost.
Now, did you come up with this your own conclusion? Or were you told that? Did you figure it out?
Figure it out because I remember my mom saying, "Where'd my pretty girl go?" It was like when I started gaining weight, but I'm like, I'm right here. I'm right here. And through healing and meditation, I was hearing that I was a replacement for my sister because they wanted a girl and they didn't have one. They kept having boys. And then I came along and I never got to be Amy. I had to be that perfect daughter that was no longer here.
So you could not really feel them being present with you.
No.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
So you can relate to that movie and Prince Harry about how you couldn't have a life. You weren't allowed to.
No.
How do you know that for your story? The replacement story.
Because I wasn't able to be who I am until after my parents died.
Oh, until after your parents died. Okay, I just needed to say it out loud because I didn't quite hear it, but yes.
So after they died, then I started searching deeper and I found you.
Good. And now, the hard road was you thought you knew who you were.
Uh-huh.
When you started to, usually when you first start to peel back these lies, okay, I'm not trying to point out that your parents are bad or that we're blaming. It is the nature of how your soul contract has played out. But when you start to wake up, you're like, whoa, wait a minute. Because everybody will say, oh, their parents were the amazing, great people. And then you wonder why you have all these programs. I know I've done damage to my kids, even if I didn't want to. A child will always have to grow, evolve so it can evolve out of that level of consciousness. So usually every child does it to every parent, no matter where they're at. And you're going to wake up to how they had to correct you. And you as a child saw it and goes, oh my God. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have actual themes, as such as replacement or spare part or something. Good night, April. What does that feel like? What does that mean? You came in very specific of it. It's like all you ever did was had to learn to attach yourself to the outside and never could understand. You had to give up who you were years ago.
I had to give up who I was in order to play the part.
To play the part.
The golden child, so to speak.
See, and you were fortunate enough to wake up to the point where you don't have to do that. I mean, just think about all of the people. Like, I was just watching about Queen Victoria, about how basically she was thrown into being a queen. And she's like, she knew she had a job to do. But you have can you find you in the middle of all of the rules and gameplays that are constantly present? Yes, you can.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, if you don't understand that you're here to evolve, then you will just keep yourself asleep. Now, she just shifted again. All right, where do you feel you are when you think about that strike of the phobia, strike of what we talked about?
2.
Okay. And I have you at L2D because I want you to stop being so shocked. Because when she began to, what? We're gobsmacked. We are galled. I can't believe that you did. What? This deep, my life has been a lot. What? So what you have to understand is that you have self-imposed limitations, that it doesn't allow you to become your full Amy. And some of the self-imposed limitations is that I am gun shy, that I'm going to meet those signatures that are going to make me feel like I'm a replacement. So as soon as I am replaced, did you hear that?
Yeah.
Did you hear that mirror?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay.
You do not have to have that mirror. So even though she felt like, oh my God, I'm a replacement child, is that she has to be on guard. Am I going to be replaced? Am I going to be replaced? Because it's already been, I was a replacement. Why isn't it somebody would have to replace me? Of course they're going to replace me because I've been the replacement. So you have to look at that other side of the mirror. Does that make sense?
It does.
Very good. So notice how your heat-seeking missile of the OMG is to say, I have to keep on the lookout to see if I'm replaced. And that's part of the phobia. Oh, very good, very good. And noticing that, do you have to be deficient?
No, I don't.
Now, notice how that feels different. I don't have to believe I'm deficient. I don't have to be worried that I'm going to get replaced. I don't have to. So this is that last part of you that is not part of who you are anymore. So when you have people in your space that annoy the hell out of you and you don't know why, like you go in the store and you're like, God, I hate that person. You are triggering off something that's unresolved. And for her, it's a mirror. You all have mirrors, but if you understand that, you can just look and go, oh my God, I was a replacement child. Are you fear of being replaced? You know what happened? You're afraid it's going to happen again. There's certainty that you have, but yet you're uncertain. And you don't have to live in those both worlds. You can change who you are. Okay? How you
That
doing?
little not anymore.
Huh?
That little said not anymore.
Exactly. So where do you think you are now? Because I see the energy in this glare field actually change.
I feel like I'm at a 0.
Good, you can take your hand down. Now, because of that scalar energy has changed, her attraction factor doesn't really have to bring people in, and because the phobia thing has started to release. why do I have to keep believing that I'm going to be replaced? Why did you even see that there?
No, I didn't.
I'm just going to say, I got to see some hearts. Some of it was filtered, but yes, I know you're sending love. So thank you. Oh, sis says, it worked for me. Yeah. Maybe you got to put some words in front of it. Who knows? So you, again, now that you're recalibrating, were you shocked when I said the mirror of, I'm going to be replaced? Did you even know that was sitting there at all?
No.
No. It was a whole nother story. It was a whole nother thing that you didn't even know was there.
Whole other layer to deficiency.
Exactly. Now, when you look at it and you don't really have that trigger, now this is where your test is going to come in because you're going to see if you're going to be replaced. The question is, are you going to knee-jerk response and then follow it? Or are you going to go, oh, I could have done that. We don't know yet. We don't know. But we want to pull that out of the vending machine. We don't need that habit anymore.
No, I don't. I don't like that habit, and I did catch it, call the energy back that I threw, and
But notice how you're still shocked that you've seen that mirror. Look at it. Your brain is like telling the ego, I'm not going to forget this one. So you may need to write it down as many times as I'm hearing you repeat it, because your ego wants to put you back to sleep. And your spirit says, I don't really want to go back to sleep. But I don't need to believe my own what?
my own BS, belief systems and bullshit.
Exactly. So we don't need to keep telling ourselves a lie. We don't need to keep gaslighting ourselves. We can take it a little bit further. The mirror is an amazing thing once you stand next to it. It can drive you up the wall, or you can go, fuck, I can see it now. Because your brain only sees in mirrors anyway.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
See, now again, I'm watching how your body's going, oh my God, I have the alarm system that I'm going to be replaced. I have the belief system that I'm going to wait, what? What? So your brain is doing its best to preserve. So what you may have to do is R1S, because it's about the next word is territory. You got it?
Yeah, that was another big one for me.
All right. Thank you so much for being here. I love everything you do. Thank you for the piffs. Thank you for all of this. And go heal. Go what you got to do. I'm going to sign off so I can get the Zoom thing fixed.
Get Zoom fixed, and yeah.
I mean, I love this format, but at the same time, it might be cheaper to go this route. I don't know.
I don't know, but how would we do
Our classes. My tribal. Yeah, I know. I was thinking about all that. If they just had this feature where you could put people's names up, that would be great.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yes.
That would be really cool.
All right. I love you, honey. We'll talk to you later. And thank you so much.
I love you
All
too.
right, bye. Okay, so I think that might be enough for the show today. Sis, did you want to, and love always, I have two piffs that have not been used. If you would like them, you may have them. That's up to you. You don't have to. You just let me know. But there are, or Robin, whoever talks first. So Sis will take one. Okay. So that's what we'll do. And we'll go here like that. There's one more piff up to grab. So, Sis, as I'm looking at this, there is this brooding. Like when we silently brood, we sit there, we mull things over in our head over and over and over and over and over and over and over. But it's always on a negative scale. Now, brooding is that you have somebody in your space that's brooding. It's like when the child pouts or goes into self-pity or sits there and rehashes about how they can't do it or whatever. And there's a part of you that feels this energy pulled that you're going to have to go, okay, so you need to fix it because it's for a child. Yeah, you're supposed to be there to help them. But you're falling for it with adults. Some adults will turn around and use this on you. And because you have this, okay, I'm going to help my child, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, you got to start noticing, do I need to fall for this? So this is where you're going to go L3S, because you're like, I don't want to let them down. I don't want to hurt their feelings. And I'm not talking about the child. I'm talking about the adults, the adults. You want to go left wrist, third position. Okay, L3S, nice and soft. And I want you to sit there and I want you to go, I'm afraid to let them down. I'm afraid to hurt their feelings. I'm afraid. That's why I fall for it. This is why I do what I do. This is what I'm supposed to with my kids, help them out, help them grow. But as they get a certain age, they're going to have to start learning to do it on their own. I got to heal. Tell me if you can relate to that, because that is very important for you to understand. Because when we tell ourselves that we have to do this with adults, you're not supposed to be the self-regulators. You're supposed to help your children learn how to self-regulate. But you're not supposed to be in a relationship where you have to take and do the suffering because they can't self-regulate. That's got to change. And that's the lie. So in this case, when you hold that point, there's another point, because all of a sudden there's a part of you that emotionally represses who you are and then puts yourself last and doesn't, you're just like, oh, and you're under pressure to do everything for them. L2S that. Left wrist, second position's off. Okay. Okay. You're getting better. Good. So hopefully this will give you that extra healing edge. Every time you see it, apply. Every time you're like, oh, I'm afraid to let them down, even if it's way after the fact that you gave them what they want and you let yourself down. Heal. Heal, heal, heal. Now, Miss Love Always, here we go. Profound vulnerability. So let's look at this. Profound vulnerability. They're taking these two words, and it is more profound and vulnerable when people get into their hysterical energy, which causes you to having to self-regulate as well. Now, you could use the same points as I just gave Sis. But it is the very great or very intense. So it's intense vulnerability. So if you can get in how you feel, that it feels like a very strong, intense part of you, I want you to understand that you're believing a lie and not the truth. Because deep down, you feel insane when, I'm driving myself insane when that energy is in my space. I feel like you don't even know. It's like you're unconscious and incompetent. It's like you don't know that's there. When you go to do this, there's a certain amount of dread. Okay? Certain amount of dread. They want you to understand that this comes with grudges from other people, from you, from where, it doesn't matter, whatever direction. So this whole thing that occurs is they want you to go, okay, I don't need to feel like I'm insane. But if you start to feel it, left wrist, second position, soft. Okay? Start nipping it in the bud immediately. Start getting it, even if it's way after the fact. Keep going until all of a sudden you're like, oh, I can feel it. And then when you start to find it, whether it's inside or where it's at, I want you to learn to stare at it. There it is. As you stare at it, then you're going to take and hold right wrist, first position, soft. And you're going to look about same shit, different day. There it is. There it is. And just stare it down until it gets a 0. Remember to always measure. 10 is the worst. Always measure. Always measure. Okay? Always measure. All right. I hope you all had a good time with me. Does that make sense? Okay. This is what we've got. All right. I love you all very much. And I'm going to get the Zoom fixed, or I'm going to figure out the next step. Now, you all have this wonderful, wonderful weekend or whatever it is. And for some reason, Robin, here's your card. Something about in the near future. I don't know if you were thinking or get into your spirit space. There's something going on. But this is for Robin. in the future. There's something in the near future. Not sure what that's about, but I was supposed to give you that. Oh, wonderful, Deborah. I'm glad to see that you had stayed. You go to sleep, and I'm going to get the rest of my stuff taken care of, and I love you all very much. Remember, hashtag resolve to evolve. Hashtag feel it. Feel it to heal it. Hashtag you're going to heal instead of deal. You've learned a lot on this program today, and I thank you, Spirit. Hashtag thank you, Spirit. And I got to figure out how to stop this when I'm done. Okay. Oh, there it is. You're already blessed. You're already whole. So stay blessed and happy healing. And there she is. Thank you, Spirit. All right. Hopefully that card made sense. And I will cast off now. Oops. All right. Didn't think I got enough liquid in my body, but we'll see. Touching it. It's not.